Hello everybody and welcome to another vintage cube draft. More than just normal draft though, a 64 player elimination draft, and specifically my last elimination draft of the season. Today is the last day, and so this will be one of the last drafts I get to do. Very excited for it. We'll go out with a bang. And we have quite a pack to start. Renin 6, Windswept Heath, Watery Grave, Treachery, Teferi, Grief, Demonic Tutor, and maybe even Sulfuric Vortex are all first pickable. Got a lot to narrow it down from. I think I'm leaning towards Demonic Tutor. Renin 6 is good, but I don't love taking Renin 6 and passing a green fetch land. You really want to be able to take both of these together. Treachery is good, but it's 5 mana and also just not as good as it used to be. Teferi is great, but 2 colors is a little committal. Windswept Heath is tempting. Honestly, I think that's my second pick out of this pack, but Demonic Tutor is just great. The obvious place to go with it is Reanimator, which is just incredible, but it's good in pretty much any deck, just adds a lot of consistency. Yeah, we'll take the tutor here. Okay, interesting. What do we want to take here? Based on power level, I love Lorien Revealed. This is basically just a better fetch land. Force of Negation is also good. Both of the blue cards here are a consideration. Fire Covenant's broken. Just a really, really powerful interactive card. It's like, I mean, it kills creatures. It doesn't do anything beyond that, so in a certain number of matchups, that's not enough, but sometimes this just wins the game on its own. Specifically against, like, mono green, they, like, really can't beat this. However, there's also Sneak Attack, which is kind of tempting. Very good build-around card. We can maybe wield the Ulamog, and we have Demonic Tutor, which helps us to enable this. Specifically, having just taken Demonic Tutor, taking a build-around combo card becomes a lot more appealing. Yeah, I think I like taking the Sneak Attack here. A little bit sad to go into red-black while passing Fire Covenant, but that's kind of a different type of card. I'm okay with if someone takes this and becomes like a black-red control deck, if we're just doing a totally different type of thing. Okay, interesting. I think we actually just take a Tali here. Weird to take this card third, but it's incredibly good with Sneak Attack. One of the best things to sneak into play. Also good in Reanimator if we end up with the Reanimator sub-theme. And it's even like pretty hard castable. As far as big top-end pieces go, I mean, obviously much more hard-castable than Emrakul. Splinter Twin is good too. Grixis Twin is not a popular color combination for this, but actually, I mean, Demonic Tutor works perfectly in any combo deck, including Twin. I do like Squee, but not for this deck, or at least not at this point. I should give a shout-out to Narset. Very powerful card. Both good card draw on its own, and then the static, it's like has 3 purposes. First of all, just like card draw. It's like basically dig through time. You look at 8 cards and you get 2 of them. Second, the static ability hates on a lot of stuff. Shuts down cantrips, shuts down Jace the Mind Sculptor, the Monarch. And then third, it's like a combo with your own draw 7s. But we're taking a Tali. Okay. A lot of options here. Rogran Triumph is 1. We're not committed to black, and like if we end up wheeling the twin, we could go in that direction, be Jeskai. But I think that's not correct. Demonic Tutor is great, and black does look pretty open. None of the cards here are particularly exciting, but I think black is plenty open. Let's take Lelia then. This is definitely the strongest card here. Maybe Reprieve is better, but this is a really, really strong card in general. It's not at its best in a Sneak Attack deck because like the ratio between like exiling card that you can play this turn and drawing a card is kind of interesting. It's always better to have the card in your hand because you get to choose the timing of it and your opponent doesn't know about it. But specifically in a combo deck, it's way better. Like if you just hit a Tali, it's like, damn, like I can't cast that this turn. I would love to be able to set up for something later. That is kind of awkward, but I still think it is correct to take the Lelia here. Okay, interesting. Dragon's Rage Channeler is a good card, but there's also Worldspine Worm if we want to go in more on the Sneak Attack. And I honestly think that is the pick. Maybe not. Actually, no. This is a good Sneak Attack target, but we already have 1 that's better, and we only need like 3 in the deck. Yeah, I think Channeler is actually going to be better for us here. I'm anticipating that we're going to be playing lots of non-creatures, so we'll get a lot of card selection out of this card. And it's just a better card than Worldspine Worm 2. If the Sneak Attack combo doesn't get there for whatever reason, we can just be like a black-red mid-range or aggressive deck. Ooh, interesting. So, two big boys. I'm not going to take one of those, though. I don't think it's Rampaging Raptor either. It's either Bitter Reunion or Blood Tithe Harvester. Bitter Reunion is better in a traditional Reanimator deck, but, I mean, basically, are we playing black? And I do want to play black. And if we're playing black, then I think we take the Harvester here. First of all, it helps us to cut Rakdos. Second of all, it still is just good card selection. It like discards one and draws one instead of discarding one and drawing two. So this does dig you a little deeper. But the body is super relevant. Like we are a sort of aggressive deck that's also playing a combo. We're not all in on the combo. So I think this is slightly better. Okay, Bone Crusher Giant looks great. There's also Putrid Imp, but I don't think that's the direction we need to go here. Yeah, we'll take the Bone Crusher. Okay. These are both not that good to sneak into play. I think we'll take Bone Shards here. Powerful card. It's better if you have token makers, but just yeah. There's a couple things with this card. It's great if we're reanimating. Just like turn one, Bone Shards their Ragavan. Turn two, animate dead, win the game. It's also good when you have tokens, and it's just kind of like a free like 1 mana kill spell. But even if it's disadvantage, you're like discarding a card that you want. You're discarding a land. You're discarding some whatever. 1 mana to destroy a Planeswalker is a huge tempo swing. Just playing this as a mid-range card is totally fine. Okay, super late season Pyromancer. That's perfect. So, TBD on whether or not we actually do this sneak attack combo. Just like red mid-range is open. I don't really think that that's as good of a deck though. Like a very good mono red deck is pretty great, but if we're like trying to play a more mid-rangey style of game plan, that doesn't sound great. So I would definitely like to be able to play the combo. But we need a bit more than just this. Oh, whoa. What? I mean, we'll take Fire Covenant. Ulamog is a combo with Sneak Attack, but like Fire Covenant is just like this is Annihilator 4, this is like Annihilator 6. This just takes out everything. Yeah, pretty incredible to get Fire Covenant that late. So, I think we're unlikely to play Reanimator at this point. Um, Reanimator doesn't look that open, but that's fine. So we're hoping to be like an aggressive red creature deck that also is playing Sneak Attack with Atali and like. So we're probably not trying to play like 5 huge creatures, but if we could get like 3, that would be good. Now I'll take Squee, which is not bad. Maybe even good depending on how our build ends up looking. The obvious weakness of this deck so far is the lack of fixing. Hopefully we can address that soon. Um, so Ophiomancer is better with Bone Shards and just like a better mid-range card, although still not a great mid-range card. I think we'll still speculate on the Vampire Hexmage. This or it doesn't go infinite, but it's a good combo with Dark Depths, so we're gonna keep open our chances of finding that. Now we'll take Dam. Sun Titan is like a very mediocre sneak attack target. Ooh, okay, Triplicate Titan's actually a good sneak attack target. Quite good. And last pick, Beaumont Courier, which is even a card that might make the cut, but I'm gonna perhaps ambitiously move these to the board. Okay, wow, great pack. I mean, Oko is the best card, but that's pretty far away from what we're doing. Dak Payton's also broken, but we don't really have the means to splash blue either. There's a twin combo. Shieldred is good if we get a draw. I mean, Shieldred is just good. So it's really Shieldred versus Vampiric Tutor here. Firebolt good too, but not on the same level. And this just comes down to how much of a combo deck we are. Vampiric Tutor is better if we're like in on the sneak attack plan. Shieldred's better if we're just playing normal deck. But honestly, Shieldred is like, it's perfect here. Because we're playing a somewhat aggressive red deck that is pressuring their life total. Yeah, if I had like Entomb and like Reanimate, I would take Vampiric Tutor. But in this deck, I think Shieldred looks really, really good. Close pick. Ooh, okay. Love a Blood Crypt. I would love Oliphant too. And hopefully it comes around. But yeah, definitely need to take Blood Crypt here. Perfect pickup. We could maybe play Lightning Greaves. This actually looks pretty good here. But definitely taking Blood Crypt first. Oh, there's Badlands. Don't mind if I do. There's also Dark Depths. But Badlands is honestly more important, even though we do have Hexmage. I'm going to hope to wheel this. But I won't even be too sad if we don't. Worth noting that if I known we would get Dark Depth, that makes me a little bit more inclined to take the Vampiric Tutor over Shieldred. But still, I mean, either way, taking Badlands and very happy about it. Okay, couple options here. Liliana's decent, Duretti's decent, and then there's Fatal Push. Duretti is probably the best card for us here, but there's a good chance it comes around. Like Fire Covenant came around, and Fire Covenant is better than Duretti. So if we're trying to wheel the Duretti, do we want to take Liliana or Fatal Push? I think in this deck we actually take the push. Liliana's good, but it's also 3 mana. We have a lot of threes. We're not playing Reanimator, so we don't care about that aspect of it. Yeah, I think I like taking push and wheeling Duretti. Oh, baby. Okay, lots of good black stuff here and some fixing, but we're taking Emrakul. That's like the thing with sneak attack. And we'll wheel something good out of this pack for sure still. Alright, this deck is looking sweet. So we have 3 good reanimation target, or good sneak attack targets. Emrakul is like the number 1 card. Atali is probably like top 4 or 5. Triplicate Titan is top 10, but not quite in the same tier. So I'm looking for... Maybe it's better than... I mean, it hits for 9 and puts 9 power on the board. But I still think I would cut this for like Atraxa. But given how this is looking, best case scenario, we end up getting through the breach and being a little bit more in on the combo. And then we cut like Squee and some of the more mid-range cards. But we'll see. Okay, I think we'll just take Graven Cairns. Good pickup. Shieldred Edict is fine. Nothing super exciting. Alright, the mana's come together much, much better here. And overall, this deck is just looking really good, honestly. I do like Squee, and we'll be filling our graveyard somewhat quickly. Oh, baby! Thespian Stage and Voidwalker. Voidwalker is such a broken card, but I think we actually take the Thespian Stage here. If this is going so late, good chance Dark Depths comes around. And this is a perfect deck for Dark Depths. Yeah, that looks great. Sorry, Voidwalker. Of course, if the Dark Depths comes around, that will be sad, and we move these 2 to the sideboard immediately. Or not even just the sideboard, we move them to like the never play board. But actually, that's also not true. This is a sideboard card against opposing Dark Depths, and this is a sideboard card against some decks that have tons of Planeswalkers. Not super common that we'll want to go for that, but it could come up. Wow, another great pack. Inferno Titan is a really good kind of card to sneak into play because it's so castable. But I still think Kolaghan's Command is just what we should take based on power level. Really, really broken card here. It's also our first way to kill artifacts. Okay. Yeah, Firebolt looks good. Graveyard Trespasser's okay. Arc Trail's okay, but take the cheaper card. Ooh, was this the Dark Depths pack? I hope not. I think we take Murderer's Rider. Good pickup. Red Black is very open. Every single card that we've taken is a reasonable consideration to play. And we've been prioritizing lands highly. Oh, nice. Alright, we're in. So now, Urborg is a really high pickup. Okay, these are both sideboard cards. Which one's a better sideboard card? I think Goblin Welder. Especially because it's kind of sweet with Triplicate Titan. Okay, these are all good. Baleful Mastery is pretty broken, but I think I actually like taking Dark Ritual here. Turn 2 Shieldred is good. Turn 3 Plane Activate Sneak Attack is good. Yeah, I'll take this. This will be more clear. Yeah, this will definitely be right if we end up getting through the breach. If not, I'll kind of regret it. Okay, there's Channel, but we're not doing that. There's also Shallow Grave, but we don't really have that good discard outlets. I think we just need to take Urborg here. If this wheels, we might play it. This is a good sneak attack target. There's also just like a broken card if we splash white. But yeah, pretty easy Urborg here. With Dark Depths and Thespian Stage, it makes our mana significantly better. And we just have a million playables. We already have 20 cards that are like borderline uncuttable. Squee is maybe not uncuttable, but honestly, every single other card here, I like really, really want to play. And even the Squee I want to play. So I'm not worried about playables. Let's take the Urborg. Oh man. Entomb. But we have no reanimation. Yeah, I think we take Bloodstained Mire. We have no reanimation stuff at the moment. If this wheels, I mean, we'll take it then. But yeah, that's just not what this deck is trying to do. We're trying to cheat stuff into play from our hand, not from the graveyard. Hmm. Really hoping to find Through the Breach soon. Imperial Recruiter doesn't. I mean, none of these cards do very much. I. Yeah, it sucks that the last pack had two fetch lands and Entomb and Necromancy. All four of those are like significantly better than anything in this pack. But we still get a good sideboard card out of it. Damnation is great against creature decks. I'm not going to play it in the main deck, but not bad. With the way this is developed, do we wish we had just gone in on Reanimator? I don't think we saw a single reanimation. Maybe we saw like one life death, but we haven't seen much reanimation stuff um, until this pack. But in this pack, we have seen Entomb, Shallow Grave, and Necromancy. Yeah, Through the Breach is the number one card to find. Even if we don't get Through the Breach, we can still play this package because of Demonic Tutor. Maybe not Triplicate Titan, but we can play like these two plus Sneak Attack just as a like small package. Okay, good pack. Hellrider's good, but not really what this deck is looking for. Talisman of Indulgence is okay, but I think we just want to take Inquisition. Yeah, really good pickup. We'll take this. Scrapwork Mutt also a solid consideration. Better when you're reanimating and filling your graveyard is good in that way, but still just like a good card. But let's take Inquisition. There's Exhume. We could also take Mizzy but I think we speculate on the Exhume. I'm not going to play it right now. It's like not good with Emrakul. But if the Entomb somehow comes around, it'll be good. And we're not missing out on much. Like just Mizzy Mortars, which is a pretty bad removal spell. We do have a Cruel Ultimatum plus... Oh no, I thought we had Mizzix's Mastery. Okay, that's fine. We're going to take Exhume. Recurring Nightmare is not really what we want. Blackleaf Cliffs is great and Archon is great. But at this point, I'm not really desperate for like more top end. Archon is good, but like maybe it's really good. But I love Blackleaf Cliffs. We have four duels already. We're also playing two colorless lands. Archon is so good though. Yeah, I think we do actually take Archon here because we have the Exhume. Hoping to get one more reanimation card. Interesting. Sundering Titan is good with sneak attack, but we like have too many things that are good with sneak attack and not enough sneak attacks. Let's take the Fire Confluence. Really good pickup. And I believe we have one more chance at a Through the Breach. No luck. Elishnorn is not that good. I guess we'll take Savai Triome. Not in love with taking a tap land, but I think it's okay. So we only have a couple ways to cheat things into play. We'll see what we wheel. We've seen Shallow Grave and Necromancy and Recurring Nightmare and Entomb going around. So hopefully we can get at least some of those. How many discard outlets do we have? Bone Shards, Bloodtithe Harvester, Seasoned Pyromancer, Kolagun's Command. Not great. We do wheel the Shallow Grave though, so we'll take that. And I believe the next pack has Entomb and Necromancy, or maybe it was one after. We're like almost a Field of the Dead deck. None of these cards are playable. I guess we'll take Karizev. Next pack, Moment of Truth. Do we get Entomb or Necromancy or both or neither. Don't really care about getting both, but I would like to get at least one, preferably Entomb. Maybe it was the next pack, I'm not sure. Robber of the Rich looks okay, not great. Doretti is kind of spicy with Triplicate Titan. Yeah, I'm not that excited about Robber of the Rich in this deck. I'll take the Doretti, but probably not play it. Man, we didn't wheel any of the Reanimator stuff. Can't be too surprised, but I am sad. We'll take Hellrider and not play it. Oh, Seething Song is like almost good here. I think it's probably not quite there. Alright, so weird situation. We did not get the Entomb. So we have Exhume, Shallow Grave, and Sneak Attack. I think that's an okay package given that we also have Demonic Tutor. And then we also have this Thespian Sage combo. Yeah, we actually have a lot of combos. We're not like all in on any particular combo, but we have a lot of different options, plus just having a reasonable clock. We will need to play some of these cards on the sideboard, but like our entire sideboard is filled with reasonable cards to play, so we'll be fine. Yeah, see you in the deck building. Alright, how do we want to finish this off? Before getting into it really though, I do want to acknowledge one pick that really did not work out. Passing Entomb. There was Necromancy and Entomb and Blackleaf Cliffs, I think, in one pack. Oh no, we actually didn't take Blackleaf Cliffs. But I think I did take a land. Maybe Urborg? Not sure. I took something over Entomb, and in hindsight that really didn't work out since we got Exhume and Shallow Grave. At the time we were hoping to get through the Breach instead of these things. But yeah, in the end, it would have been this deck would have been so much better if we had taken the Entomb, and also if we had taken the Vampiric Tutor over Shieldred earlier. So definitely regretting those two picks. At the time, maybe they were defensible, but they definitely didn't work out. So worth noting that. Okay, now how many lands do we want to play? We are playing two lands that are like Dark Depths is not really a land, so we need to play at least 17 for sure. We could play only 17 potentially. Normally, I would want to play like yeah, I mean, this deck has a pretty low curve, although it does have, like, kind of ambitions of casting these things off of Dark Ritual. Squeeze, the other card that I would like to get in here, if possible. Maybe not. Well, actually, yeah, Squeeze looks good. We're going to be filling our graveyard pretty quickly. Dam is another card that we could play. What are we playing for removal? Fatal Push, Bone Shard, Firebolt, Murderous Rider, Stomp, Fire Cut. Yeah, we don't need Dam, actually. We have plenty. What is cuttable here? I think I like having these three big creatures. Emrakul just because it's like so good with Sneak Attack and Shallow Grave, and these two are like also quite good but kind of hard castable. Definitely want Sneak Attack, definitely want Confluent. I think Shieldred is nigh uncuttable. Um, Honestly, everything looks pretty good here. So I guess Squee gets the boot. Could cut the Dark Ritual as well. What is Ritual good with? It's good with Shieldred. It's okay with Sneak Attack. It's okay with trying to hardcast a Tali. Maybe that's not enough. And you don't really have anything that makes this go on turn one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make this exchange. We're not like quite all in enough to want Dark Ritual, I think. Okay, now let's sort by color. So quite even. We have one black and one red card that we're not planning on hardcasting very much. Wait, sorry, I already forgot. I think it was slightly heavier black. Yeah. So if we did this, that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 black, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red. I think we just do 10-10, which is pretty good given that we are playing two colorless lands. Also noting that Urborg is kind of like 1.5 black sources. This instantly gives us double black for Hex Mage and Murderous Rider and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, I think I'll run like this. Couple other considerations, like we have this Duretti Goblin Welder package, which is good with Triplicate Titan. So we could play those. If there's ever a matchup where we think Triplicate Titan is particularly good, we could make that exchange. We could even bring in like Beaumont Courier for other artifacts there. Damnation's a great sideboard card in some matchups. Seething Song is good specifically with Sneak Attack because it gives you like 5 mana is what you need to play and activate Sneak Attack. So if we were a little bit more all in, specifically if we had Through the Breach, you have Through the Breach and Sneak Attack, then I would like playing Seething Song to be able to combo on turn 3 much more or like somewhat consistently. But yeah, I think we'll run it like this. This deck looks good, lots of interaction, multiple combos between like we have some graveyard stuff, but we're not super cold to graveyard hate either with Sneak Attack and then also just the Dark Depths combo, which we can pull off pretty early. But yeah, I mean, we can even do it like best draw for this deck might just be like turn 1 Urborg Inquisition, turn 2 Dark Depths Vampire Hexmage, and just like plan on attacking for 20 in the air on turn 3, having already played a discard spell. Pretty broken. Yeah, this deck looks sweet. See you in round 1, which we hope is round 1 of 6. Alright, round 1, we're playing against Coffee as my co-pilot. I actually have a little leftover coffee as well, but not my co-pilot. My co-pilot is Passion. We are on the play with a great hand. Definitely keeping this. It's like, it's almost a perfect hand. We don't have double black, so we can't play Hexmage yet. And we like don't have. Yeah, it's like not quite as good as it looks, honestly, but it's still really good. We have turn 2 Stomp. We can go Demonic Tutor for Vampire for a Dark Depths potentially, and then set up a turn 4 Dark Depths. We'll see what we're up against. Playing against a blue deck, huh? If we draw black source, I'll definitely Demonic Tutor for Dark Depths. We could also get like Sneak Attack, but I don't think that's correct. That's just like too much mana. And I don't think there's any like value cards we would want to get here. So yeah, probably gonna be getting Dark Depths, unless we draw something that changes it like into or like Exhume. If we got Exhume, we could try to find like a discard outlet. Fire Covenant. Okay, yeah, let's just grab the Dark Depths. Just confirming there's nothing better, but I don't think there is. Yeah, we'll grab this card. So next turn, I mean, currently our plan is just play Thespian Stage, pass with Fire Covenant up, and then if they don't do anything, we can copy our Swamp. Ledger Shredder, okay. Yeah, don't really care about that. Shallow Grave, interesting draw. We don't have a discard enabler though, so we'll just play Thespian Stage and pass. Okay, that's fine. Kind of weird to do that in their upkeep. If this is a creature, not a creature. Do we want to fire off the Fire Covenant to just trade with this Ledger Shredder? Probably not. Taking one seems fine, especially since we actually do get some value here by copying our Swamp. Okay, let's just play Dark Depths and Vampire Hexmage. Oops. I like playing the Vampire Hexmage better than playing the Thespian Sage here because we don't have to lose a land if they have something for us. So counter magic doesn't do it, removal doesn't do it. If they have a bounce spell, that could do it. We also have Fire Covenant to deal with the Ledger Shredder if they're going for a blocker. Weirdly, Crucible of Worlds is like almost tempting in some matchups just to be able to recur this. Like if they can answer it once, they probably can't answer it twice. They definitely can't answer it 3 times. So we can just like keep on throwing 20/20s at them. But I think we would need to have more than just that. Like we have one or two fetch lands too, but I would want to be able to have like wasteland strip mine too if we're going for that. Okay, I'm gonna go for the combo. If they have a bounce spell, they have a bounce spell. Hopefully they don't. Untap, land, Fire Covenant. They might counter the Fire Covenant. But if that's the game they're playing, I'm okay with that. They like counter that. Oh man. The fact that they're not conceding makes it look like they just have a bounce spell, which is why I hate this combo. Sometimes it just loses to like Venser. Oh, Shark Typhoon Chump Block. Okay, we're one man short of being able to Bone Crusher Giant to kill that. This is fine. If they had a bounce spell, they clearly would have used it. So they're trying to find it off of the Shark Typhoon cycle plus their draw step. Hopefully, incoming concession. They have tons of mana. They can just hardcast an 8 drop, but we don't care about many 8 drops here. We just care about bounce spells. Dream Halls, huh. Fair enough. So, we actually have an interesting line. We can play Shallow Grave by discarding the Archon, and then the Archon will be the top card in our graveyard by the time the Shallow Grave resolves. So that's kind of interesting. We can do that at instant speed. They're playing Storm. They only have one card in hand, though. But they are going to be able to... Interesting. I almost want to go for the Archon here. What are they getting with a Talisman? Okay, let's let this resolve. And then they're gonna, if they use the Talisman in response, I'm going to go for the Shallow Grave line to take out the last card in their hand because they're probably banking on having this thing. Yeah, I think this is the right line. Really weird line, but it looks good here. So cast by discarding card that shares a color. So then it returns this. We're not going to get to attack, but we're just going to get one trigger, which makes them discard their last card. And my theory is that if they have... now they won't be able to discard a card to play whatever they were going to get. Like, maybe they were going for Cruel Ultimatum, but now that doesn't work anymore. They discard Sail into the West. They have no cards. So they can search for one card, but they only have 2 mana. Worst case scenario is they just have a bounce spell. Like, I don't even know. There's not that many bounce spells they could have. Like, they have, like, Seal of Removal or something somehow. Then that would bounce this. We would get this, but we wouldn't really have any good place to do with it. I think we would still be slightly ahead, but... Especially with the Dream Halls in play. Actually, yeah, we could just get a Tali and cast a Tali, and that would maybe win. But they need a lot here. I mean, starting with a way to deal with our 2020. So we're playing against Storm in match 1. Interesting matchup right off the bat. This is definitely a matchup where we will make a couple changes. Namely, we're cutting our removal spells. We'll bring in Dark Ritual and Seething Song just to be faster. Nice. Cool line there with the Shallow Grave on the Dream Halls. Satisfying to find that one. We might have been able to win anyways, but maybe not. At the very least, they could have drawn 7 new cards with Dream Halls in play. Which probably would have won with the Yawgmoth, with the Tendrils and all that. But whatever the case, we were able to find this sweet line. Shieldred seems great here. We don't need Murderous Rider. We don't really need Bone Shards. We don't need Fatal Push or Firebolt. Some of these cards could be okay. I mean, well, they're playing Ledger Shredder. What do we want? Hmm. I think I'll bring in the rituals. I'll keep in Fatal Push to deal with the Ledger Shredder. And then, what is the last card to bring in? Maybe Beaumont Courier if we're trying to empty our hand more quickly. Yeah, that seems fine. I don't think Murderous Rider looks very good. I don't really want to bring in Triplicate Titan. We are, if we cut Bone Shards, we are gonna have fewer ways to discard cards. I think that's fine though. Do we want to change our mana base at all? We cut a couple black cards and brought in like kind of red cards, but not really. Yeah, I think we should run back. Okay, being on the draw is harder. Oh, Fire Covenant's maybe a card we should have cut too. Yeah, we probably should have played like maybe Murder Tried over Fire Covenant, but at any rate, this hand is good. We will keep. It's not a combo hand necessarily, but just like Kolaghan's Command seems important. I like that we have some pressure. Preordain is fine. I think. Oh no, I was gonna say my best draw might be Dark Ritual, so we could turn one Squee, but alas, we don't have the right colors of mana for that. So in that case, our best draw would probably be. I don't know. This hand isn't that close to comboing, unfortunately. Maybe honestly just Inquisition of Kozilek. Sneak Attack is probably up there as well. So our plan is to try to get a few cards into the Beaumont Courier, resolve Sneak Attack on turn 4, and then pop the Beaumont Courier on turn 5 and find Emrakul or something like it there. Alright, so no play on turn 2, but we have a lot of action ready for turn 3. Raging Ravine, not a land I was expecting to see. Okay, let's just be mana efficient. Counter our Squee, that is A-okay. Sure. I mean, not great, but fine. No play of any kind. Interesting. I'm just gonna jam the sneak attack, be mana efficient. If they counter it, they counter it. Okay, that just resolves. We have a very Rakdos hand. Oh, I think Doretti didn't wheel. Not too concerned about it, but that is interesting. They hit a land, going for something. Vendilion click. Okay, that is totally fine. We don't have anything yet. I get why they're afraid. I mean, just slamming sneak attack in a deck that they already know we have a Archon. We'll see if they take anything. They might not. Yeah, they choose not to. Sure. Wow, that's got to be pretty tilting for the opponent. Yeah, I feel pretty bad for the opponent. Honestly, that was an insane top deck. Um, I think we can just kill them here. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we have a few different lines to lethal, but just sneaking in the Bloodhead Harvester should be fine. And we can Kolaghan's Command to burn them out. We have Beaumont Courier to pop and draw a million cards. And this is just lethal. So yeah, pretty even if we hadn't drawn the Archon, I think we were in a great position. We would have just gone like probably just like cast Bloodtide Harvest or cast Kolaghan's Command this turn, and then next turn crack Beaumont Courier to draw 6. Maybe we should have just gone for Beaumont Courier this turn to draw 5. We would have drawn the Atali, and like good chance of us finding something. If we're drawing 5 cards and we have 3 hits, Demonic Tutor would also be a hit. Alright, well, very easy round one. We get a quick 2-0. See you in round two. Alright, we're back for round two. On the draw. Ooh, triple threat here. On the draw, bad hand, and we can't rearrange our hand, which weirdly happens like every once in a while. I think it's just good enough to keep. We have a lot of live draws. Sneak attack would be a live draw. Dark depths would be a live draw. Demonic tutor, of course, and we have Inquisition into Kolaghan's command for interaction, plus both of our colors. But it's definitely not a thrilling hand, and we do need a little bit of help. I guess I would just prefer a more proactive hand, and this is a more interactive hand. Okay, I think I'm gonna fire off the fetch on turn one. This does mean it's harder to trigger Revolt for Fatal Push, but that's very narrow, and I really don't want to draw the Badlands. Always nice to play against someone who's familiar with the channel. Turn one Inquisition. Ooh, well, interesting. So we have a good answer to the Voidwalker. Hmm. Black Lotus is obvious. I'm not going to take a Bloodchief's Thirst, so it's Voidwalker or Lotus. The Lotus is scary. It represents a lot of potential power, but it doesn't do anything right now. I still am leaning towards taking it, though. We can just play Kolaghan's command to take out their Voidwalker. Yeah, Lotus just represents too much potential power. Interesting decision for sure. They play their Voidwalker. So if they thought to use my Kolaghan's command, I'll be sad. Fire Covenant, alright, that's a second answer. I'm planning on cycling the Savai Triad in this game almost definitely, so we're not going to be playing that here. It would be hilarious if they top deck Thoughtseize and they could Thoughtseize our Emrakul and then cast Emrakul on turn 3. But luckily they don't draw that. If they play a creature, we can Fire Covenant. Yep, looks great. We'll just get our clean 2 for 1. I'm going to do it now so they don't do anything weird. 2 damage here, 1 damage here. Pretty smooth. The next turn, we can Kolaghan's command to get another 2 for 1, probably. Liliana, interesting. Okay, I think we should discard the Savai Triome. They're down to 1 card. Okay, we will play out the Bloodtithe Harvester here. They can kill it with the Liliana if they want to, but if they make us sacrifice our Harvester, we can Kolaghan's command to kill the Lily and bring back the Harvester if we care, or make them discard a card. We're at 13. Jeez, I don't know how we got so low. Okay, fair enough. So they're just going to keep on going upstairs with Lily. We'll discard Mountain. Yeah. Shallow Grave. Sneak Attack. Basic Swamp. So, a couple options. We could Kolaghan's command or return the Bloodtithe Harvester, but that doesn't really do much. I think I'm just going to pass and plan on discarding the Swamp. And hopefully they animate the Creeping Tar Pit. I feel like they must. Okay, so I wish I could deal 2 damage to Lily and the dude, but so we'll just deal 2 damage to the Tar Pit, bring back our Bloodtithe Harvester. So return target creature, 2 damage to any target. Take a draw, Shallow Grave. No. Interesting position. Not a good position. We could just sack this blood and loot through a land. I think I will do that. Man. Okay. So they can ultimate Liliana. I think we're okay with that for the most part. If they plus Liliana again, we're also okay with that. If they just make us sacrifice our Blood Tithe Harvester, we're also okay with that. We need to eventually find a combo piece, but we've gone through just primarily lands at this point. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lands accounted for to only 5 spells. That's kind of ridiculous. Okay, so sure enough, they do take out the Harvester. Sneak Attack and Shallow Grave just win instantly. Demonic Tutor also just wins instantly. Dark Depths would probably also win. Urborg does not win. Okay, I'm going to loot away this. Man. Alright, I'm going to play this. I don't love it. They're going to make us sacrifice it, but we're at least getting their Liliana down so the ultimate's no longer a threat. Shieldred looking horrible here, though. Duress, sure. This is my problem with playing Emrakul, and just like combo decks in general. You're way softer to interaction, but I mean, we still have 3 draws that just win instantly. Oh, actually, Shallow Grave no longer wins instantly. Hilarious. And sad. Oh, wait, we can just Shallow... yeah, I'm actually just going to Shallow Grave back to Shieldred to kill Liliana. Yeah. Then it just becomes a top deck battle, which probably favors them, actually. So Shallow Grave's gone. Sneak Attack is our best draw, of course. They play land go. I guess I'll just copy Badlands here. I don't think we really need blue mana. They play out a 2-1. 7 turn clock. Let's go. Copy this. Still makes black and red. Sure. I'm happy they played their creature. So now instead of them having 2 power on the board, we have 4 power on the board. Wasteland, okay. They're probably going to take out a Thespian Stage. They should take out the Thespian Stage, because otherwise... Well, it depends if they have multiple 6-drops. Oh, they go for Badlands? That's weird. Oh, maybe... So, I wasn't actually sure how this worked, but it does become a... Yeah, it becomes a basic land. Okay, that's actually... That's why I made it Swamp or Mountain instead of Badlands. I didn't know if that was even going to work, but it did. That's cool. We draw Archon, which is probably our worst draw. Demonic Tutor, probably our best draw. Well, I guess whatever we search for with Demonic Tutor was our best draw, but that works well too. We can, I think, just go for the Dark Depths combo here. Yeah, that's definitely the right line. So we'll get Dark Depths and play it. And it can tap for mana because of the Urborg, so we have enough mana to make the 2020 here. Alright, they have a blocker, so they don't die on board, but they have to chump block, and then they're gonna take 4 still. Rankle, interesting, but also not scary. They just have 2 chump blockers now. This is not gonna work well, opponent. What are you... What? Maybe they don't realize... Yeah, they must not realize that this worked like this, but we'll make a Dark Depths. We'll keep the one with no ice counters. Make it 2020. And block, Rankle, and win. So what they should have done is just leave those both back to block. Then they chump block, take 4, try to top deck. Like it's maybe they... I mean, they could leave back Rankle, and then if they top deck removal spell for this, the Rankle sacrifice could take out Merit Lage. It would have been really tough, and they would need us to brick for a long time, but maybe we would have bricked for a long time. Interesting game. So we haven't seen any Reanimator stuff from them. I think they just look like blue-black control. May have some Reanimator stuff, but we saw 19 cards with nothing that is really even close to Reanimator. Like Suspicious Stowaway and Liliana kind of, but they're also just normal cards. They do have Black Lotus, but it doesn't look like the best deck for abusing Black Lotus. Crucible of Worlds is weirdly a consideration. Very good against Liliana. Just like black red dudes. Shieldred seems pretty bad. I definitely like Squee better than Shieldred in this matchup. But maybe we just play Shieldred anyways, because nothing else looks essential. We don't need like Karzav. We have one fetch land. Yeah, that's. I don't think that's enough for Crucible. We'll just run it back. Honestly, probably not the best matchup though. Typically, like discard spells line up well. I mean, I guess they need more pressure than they had that game, but we top deck kind of poorly. We have a bunch of cards that are individually weak, just because we have all these combos. So if they can Thoughtseize half of our combo and strand us with like, I mean, like our hand there, Emrakul Archon, and that's just like terrible. Whereas if they're not playing a combo, they have no dead draws like that. Hmm. I do like Squee against black red decks, but not enough to keep a six lander. Although I don't like mulliganing against discard spells, that is for sure. In some matchups, you can just mulligan to like three and then just keep Swamp and Tomb, Reanimate, and win. This is not a matchup like that. Card quantity is pretty important. Oh man. I really don't want to go to five, but this hand sucks. I think we still have to keep it on the draw, as awkward as it is. Just put back the Emrakul. I guess that's awkward. Oh no. So they're probably getting Black Lotus here, and they're going to do something broken on turn two, and we'll go to game three, and we'll win game three on the play. It's fine. But definitely not feeling good in this one. Could bring in Dam if we think they're playing more creatures. Dam is good against Rankle. They didn't play that many creatures that game though. Yeah, we'll see what they Lotus out. I'm almost positive they got Lotus here. Oh, just playing Stowaway. Okay, that's actually pretty good still. Can we draw land? Oh boy. This is why Dark Depth sucks. Very bad position here. They searched for something. Maybe it was the Seafaring Werewolf, but probably it was like a counter spell or a discard spell or like something that interacts with us. Okay, I mean that's what we were hoping for. We discard the Atali, and now if we top deck a land, we can bring back Atali. Oh, so close. So we need to make sure to not discard another creature. So I think we're pitching Fiery Confluence here. Could be Sneak Attack too. Weird timing for Consider, but okay. Land, please. Yeah, I think I'm actually pitching Sneak Attack. It does let them know that we have it, but it's just like so far away from being good. Okay, that's beautiful. Do we go for it now? Pretty good chance they have a counterspell. But it doesn't. I don't think it improves if we give them two more looks, so I'm just gonna go for it. And we're gonna lose if this doesn't. Oh, it does work immediately. Okay, Demonic Tutor and Fairy Mastermind. Um, what do we want to get here? I think I'm just gonna get Thespian Stage. Go for Dark Depths next turn. Send this at Lily. And it works. Okay, I don't know. I guess they've searched for Liliana, or maybe even the Stowaway. Weird play. Oh, brutal. Well, there goes that plan. Still not the worst. This is going to be trigger off of their suspicion. In fact, they probably shouldn't even attack with Stowaway into our Fairy Mastermind. Oh, okay. That makes sense. And then they play Gix. Okay, yeah, that's a good swing for them. We can. I think we're still winning though. We can. They get to draw two cards and discard one, so they'll have two cards in their hand. Then we can Fire Covenant, take out their board, going to 11, which is still healthy enough. And then the turn after that, we can Lelia. Crazy game. It'd be awesome to win it. After like essentially missing our second land drop with that Dark Depths. The rest, okay, they take the Fire Confluence, but that's actually the card we care about the least out of these four cards, I think. Well, I guess Thespian Stage is worse, but still. Hopefully, oh, Black Lotus, what's their last card? The Scarab God, or Massacre Worm? Troll, huh? I mean, we just killed that with Murderous Rider. Kill it now, because it would be bad if they top decked a counterspell. We're at 9, but good position. They're top decking. We have more resources somehow. They top deck something good. Oh, Displace Your Kitten is just so bad here. Hilariously bad. I'll take it. Lelia. Well, I guess I'm happy I'm not drawing that since Shallow Grave and Sneak Attack are gone. They're dead pretty quickly to this Lelia, though. And we can deploy the Murderous Rider if we break on our next 2 draws. Blitz, Tenacious Underdog. Okay, we do take 5 here. That's a lot. We're down to 4. They're not playing red, though, so they don't have burn. Pretty good draw. Sure. Alright, so Murderous Rider, Bloodtithe Harvester. Pass, we have multiple blockers. They're not playing burn, so I don't need to worry about char or something weird. Seems like a good position. This is a funny game where we like shallow graved, like that was part of our plan, but then we're just winning with like random 2/2s and stuff now. Like, Blitz the underdog, that seemed like a desperation move. Yeah, that. Alright, well, pretty smooth sailing so far. Yeah, we're 2-0. See you in the, not the, well, I guess kind of the finals. The finals of the first draft. At first I was like, why are there so few people? But yeah, so a lot of people still in their first game. Some there's, yeah, first game still. But yeah, I'll see you in round 3. Alright, here we are for round 3 on the play against Mental Misstep. And yeah, I mean, we have the old Dragon's Rage Chandler plus Sneak Attack. This is the situation where I wish we had Seething Song, but still a good start. Like, if we had nothing other than the combo, maybe still keepable in some matchups, but we have some early pressure. They need to respond to our early threats, and that hopefully opens up the door for Sneak Attack to resolve. Playing against Mono Green, which I feel like should be a decent matchup. Okay. Sneak Attack will be good if we can resolve it and activate it. Of course, I don't love the idea of just jamming it against a deck that could be playing Reclamation Sage or Pest Infestation or any number of other ways to deal with enchantments. Do they have a turn 2/3 drop? Interesting. So that could be holding up Endurance. Ooh, okay. I think that's actually better than playing anything else. It plays around Endurance, of course, but it also just like slowing them down seems important. And I'm gonna keep this on top. It's not like a sexy pick or anything, but we need to hit land drops for this Sneak Attack. Looks like they do have the Endurance. Okay. They get the sweet value of taking out our Firebolt, and that is okay. So land go. And then do we just jam Sneak Attack next turn? It's so bad if they kill it. I think I'm not going to. Well, it depends. They'll probably attack with the Endurance. And then we can attack with Lelia. Take 1. They only have 2 mana. Not doing a good job of ramping so far. Devoted Druid, well, there's some ramp. Okay, I think I'm gonna go for the Sneak Attack, or go for the Sneak Attack rather. Try to just activate it the turn we play it. Hopefully we hit a land off Lelia. Shieldred. Okay. Honestly, I'm so happy not to draw that. I'm yeah happy to just clear that off the top. Really hoping to hit an untapped land next turn, so we can just go for the turn 5 combo kill. Oh, well, we'll see what they can do with this. If they have Emrakul, they will win. Looks like a lot. Oh, Worldspine Worm. That's beatable. But we need to top deck a land. Land? Ah. Um. Huh. So we have a few options here. I think we want to attack with Lelia just to try to hit a land. We're not going to play any spells, but yeah, this gives us the best chance of being able to activate Sneak Attack next turn, and I think that's our path to victory here. So suiciding Lelia, just getting an extra look at a land. We do hit. That's good. They're going to just block with Worldspine Worm, of course. But then we can Murderous Rider to kill the worm so they don't get to attack with it. I think I'm going to upkeep it. I really don't expect to see blue counter magic, but there's just no reason not to, I think. We're dead to, like, natural order for Craterhoof either way. There's also, I guess, there's a slight advantage if it shuffles Worldspine Worm into their deck, which increases their chances of drawing Worldspine Worm. Okay, and so now we should be just good to go. Is there a difference between playing Archon or Emrakul? They both should be enough to win. The One Ring, huh? Interesting. So Archon of Cruelty is bricked. Wow. If we attack with Emrakul, they do have to sacrifice 6 permanents, but that's not enough. Yeah, crazy that they had the One Ring there. So we need to sneak in Archon on their turn. They'll sacrifice Devoted Druid. We'll have a couple blocks. Are we dead? We'll go to 15. I think we're going to survive. We can beat the board. Yeah, we can beat the board. We don't want to attack with this, so I'm just going to go to my second main. I don't think there's anything that could give us Delirium, but if we actually accidentally have like an artifact creature or something I'm not thinking of, that would be a disaster. And I'm going to tap it like this so we can play around Wasteland. Man, the One Ring. Okay, don't want that. Actually, I guess we technically do want that. Yeah, we do want that. So, on board, we can block one of their 5/5s. Do we want to sneak in Archon of Cruelty now? We can block one of their 5/5s with the Archon, and we can chump block their Endurance and survive. The benefit of sneaking Archon into play now is it takes them off of mana for Devoted Druid, which I think is worth it. Crazy that they had the One Ring. We could literally attack them with Emrakul or Archon, but it just doesn't matter because they had protection from everything. And the Archon trigger in particular, this targets. It says target opponent, so that wouldn't even draw us a card or do anything. We could attack them with this and they would have to sacrifice 6 permanents, I'm pretty sure, but they could just take 0 and be fine. Wild, swinging game. They draw in response so that they can discard a bad card, fair enough. But this takes them off of, assuming, well, actually, so now they're, I guess, good play, because they can, if they draw Craterhoof, they'll just sack one of their worms and then have exactly 8 mana. Oh no. That looks like Craterhoof. Which would totally be lethal with 3 worms attacking. That's 20 points of power plus 20 points of pump, I think. 40 damage. Yeah, we definitely can't prevent all that. Possible they sacked the Endurance because they knew they were just like They didn't have the Crater Hoof yet, but they were hoping to top deck the Crater Hoof in the one draw after that. It's also possible that they had the Crater Hoof, but they were hoping to top deck a land. Anything other than Crater Hoof should be fine. We can even beat Questing Beast here. We'd go to 1 against Questing Beast, but we would survive. Oh no, we'd go to 2. Of course, they don't know that. They think the Archon is going away. They don't know that we have I mean, we have 3 different ways to kill them in our hand. So they do need to kill us this turn, but they don't necessarily know that. Although they do know that they're at 3 life against the burn deck with the 1 ring in play. So they basically do know that they need to kill us here. We have a good sideboard for this matchup. We can bring in Dam. That's the big one. Dam and Damnation, I guess. Damnation is the real big one, but they're both good. I don't think we want to bring in Fire Blast. There's some argument for Sealing Song, but probably not. It's a happy thought, but assuming that if they don't kill us here, we need to decide which one of our ways to kill them we want to do. And what gives away the least information. I think actually sneaking Emrakul is the best, because they might just think we're all in on sneak attack. If we play Exhume, they'll know we have graveyard stuff. They might kind of assume it either way, but they'll definitely know it if we do that. So they'll I mean, they have Endurance already, but they might bring in Scavenging Ooze or something. Fiery Confluence is also good for them to not know about, because we don't want them to know that we can sweep their board, especially if we'll have 2 sweepers post board. So yeah, I think killing him with Emrakul gives away the least information. Mental Misstep is deep in thought over there. Which has got to be a good sign. I can't really imagine they would be thinking about anything if they have a way to put Craterhoof into play. That's clearly lethal. There's nothing we could do about that. Snuff Out is the only thing that might work, but it doesn't. Slash, if we had Snuff Out, we would have snuffed out the Devoted Druid in their upkeep. Oh man. Mono Green is a good matchup, but Channel is scary. We also don't have the best sneak attack targets. Maybe we do. Massacre Worm is fine, but not good against their 15 power of worms. Man, this is always such a rough position when you're just waiting and hoping that they can't do anything. We've done our thing. Hopefully it's good enough. Here's the play. Please don't just be natural order. That'd be so frustrating. Tank, tank, tank. Natural order for Craterhoof. Hit for 40. Oh, that's the exact amount of cost we don't want to see. Pay 7. I'm totally fine with playing 7. I don't think there's any 7 drop to win here. Just don't pay 4 or 8. Another possibility is that they have natural order, but they have the Craterhoof in their hand, and they didn't draw land. Seven mana. Pest Infestation. Green Suns for 6. Okay, I think that's fine. Unless they have the 7. Okay, Kogla. Oh my god. We go to 1. Wow. I'm so happy we are not playing more fetch lands. That's insane. Good play. Their opponent's making some heads up plays, but we'll sneak Emrakul into play in our upkeep. And they can see. Wow, wild game. They found the cool line. Good for them for thinking hard and finding a line that works. That beat a lot of things. It killed our Chandler, put us to 1, and it meant that we had to already have the thing in our hand. I mean, we had actually 3 ways to kill them, but they cut out our draw step, or cut out a lot of draws that could have gotten there for us. So, good play by the opponent, but we're able to get there. We bring in The package from hell, the damnation package. What do we cut? I think I like all these pieces of top end. I think Atalia is better than Triplicate Titan here. Shieldred is just not what we want. Squee is also not what we want. Lelia is also not really what we want. Okay, these are all the cards that are must plays. So then the question is, what 3 cards do we want to add? And honestly, I think I do like bringing in Dark Ritual in the draw. It also gives us a potential turn 5 combo, and it can ramp into a board sweeper if we need it. I think I will play the Channeler for the card selection. I don't care that much about the body, but it just like digs through our deck. This doesn't seem like a great matchup for Lele. A great card, but not really the best matchup for it. I think I'm going to take... Yeah, we still want Blood Tithe Harvester at the removal spell, and a way to discard our big creatures. Yeah, I think these two are great cards. We have a whole package of legends that lose to Caracas in our sideboard. But yeah, I think these are just not really where we want to be. Lele in particular is like very, very good, but this just doesn't really seem like the matchup for it. We're trying to combo, we're not really trying to win a fair game. Everything else either interacts or draws cards or combos. Yeah, let's run it like this. Right? On the draw, that of course hurts the cause. Okay, wow, this is a awkward end in some ways, but we have the turn 3 Dark Depths, so we can kill them on turn 4, and they're not really a deck that can interact with that. We don't do anything before then, like we don't have any interaction at the moment. Let's just get this into play, pass. If they Wasteland or survive Triome, I'm happy they're not saving it for Dark Depths. Oh, wait. Huge blunder. We needed to play Urborg or one of our other lands there. Yeah, that might really cost us. Bummer. Okay. Thespian stage go. Okay, that's fine. That actually can... both of those can block our Dark Depth, so it doesn't just win instantly. Man, I can't believe I made that misplay. So we should just be comboing this turn, but instead we have to wait one more turn. It would be huge to draw a spell. We do draw a spell, kind of. There's actually an argument for just going to discard and pitching... No, that loses to Graveyard Hate unnecessarily. So playing Dark Depths doesn't do anything, so we'll play Urborg, pass turn. It would be awesome if they went for Wasteland on Thespian stage and we could copy their forest in response. Okay, this is fine. Okay, we're just going to go for the combo. And I'm going to do it in their upkeep. I'm not really afraid of them having bounce spells or anything. I'm more afraid of them having Wasteland, and we can't respond to them playing Wasteland. So we'll go black, Thespian stage. Keep this one with no counters. Alright, we have a 20/20. That stabilizes the board pretty well. Could still lose to Craterhoof type stuff, but good position. Unfortunately, we don't have enough mana for Fiery Confluence next turn, since we lost 2 lands there. Green Suns for 4. Interesting. Oracle of Moldiah, Force, don't care about any of that stuff. So they pass. Firebolt, good draw, very good draw. So I'm going to Firebolt their Birds of Paradise, so they have to chump block with Endurance. Please tell me they didn't bring in a Swords of Plowshares. Alright, come in for 20, they have to chump block. We're at a pretty healthy life total here. We also just like have a lot more follow up, like starting next turn. We can Pyromancer and then Shallow Grave Archon after that. They're dead to this Merit Lage right now. They have no way to gain life. They don't have any flyers. Green doesn't have that many ways to block. Anyways, and there we go. Got there. So despite my blunder there by not playing Urborg on turn 1, we're able to take that down 2-0 and make it to the second draft. Pretty sweet. This deck was great. That deck is gone now, but hopefully we can make an even sweeter one in the second one. See you there. Alright, draft number 2. Here we are. Unfortunately, it's a pretty weak pack to start. Very weak, actually. There's 2 cards that are real considerations, and those are Lelia and Wasteland. Which is better? They're both really good. The advantage of Lelia is that we're passing no red cards, so that helps for cutting red. Wasteland is a little bit more versatile. It goes into more decks. But Lelia is really good. I honestly think this is probably the pick. I wouldn't take this if I wasn't, like, if there was another good red card in the pack, basically. But red is maybe the best color, definitely a very good color. We're also, like, if we take the Wasteland, we're passing a lot of the stuff you want to pair with Wasteland, like Titania, Raging Ravine. So we're like, it's going to be hard to do like a red-green Wasteland deck. We could be an aggressive deck with Wasteland, but I think I'd rather just take the Lelia here. Close pick, but this card is just incredibly strong. Okay, whoa. A lot of different stuff here. So there's like Sneak Attack Itali, so the deck we just played could go run it back. Honestly, Sneak Attack is a reasonable line. I don't think I'll take Recurring Nightmare, although it is strong. A lot of good black stuff. Hmm. Yeah, I think I actually like taking a Sneak Attack. Kind of funny to like do that again, but it seems good. Even if Atala gets taken, that's fine. Given that we're passing all this black stuff, it becomes a little less likely we are red-black again, but we could be blue-red Sneak Attack. I love blue-red, like Lelia is great in a blue deck. Well, it's not great with counter magic, I guess, but I do think like blue-red tempo deck like that are a lot of fun and pretty powerful. I mean, yeah, this is a super powerful card in the color we just took. Yeah, we'll go for it. Okay, now we see Taiga, Counterspell. I think I like taking the Taiga here. With that being said, there's not a ton of green in this pack. Based on power level, what's the best thing? Definitely Counterspell. Maybe we're supposed to take that as a signal, actually, and just be, like, take the counter. Be blue-red. Yeah, honestly, third pick Counterspell is a bit of a signal. Taiga's fine, but, like, green-red Sneak Attack is, like, you can do that, but I think I'd prefer to have interaction plus card draw to back up this combo rather than, like, ramp and big creatures. Close pick, but I'm going to take the Counterspell here. Okay, here we see a few options. Mind Collapse, Daze, Third Path Iconoclast. Reprieve is also good. I think I'm just going to take the Daze here. Yeah, Daze is good. Very good with Lelia. Like, tapping out for Lelia and then being able to Daze their answer is really powerful. Yawgmoth's Will is strong, but not really what we're looking to do here. Yeah, we'll take the Daze. Looks good. Now we see a Braid and Ledger Shredder, both of which are pretty strong. Um, hmm. I think when in doubt, take the interactive card is a solid place to be. Ledger Shredder is good, and it's particularly good in blue-red, where you have a low curve and lots of proactive cards. But a Braid is just excellent. Really, really powerful interactive card. Killing artifacts is huge, like Portal to Phyrexia. Yeah, sorry Ledger Shredder, but I will take the Abrade here. Good start. I mean, nothing like completely absurd, but like blue-red Sneak Attack. We could also just cut the Sneak Attack and just be a blue-red tempo deck if we don't get good things to sneak into play, which would be totally fine. If we do end up on Sneak Attack, we want to ideally play cards that are not like completely uncastable on their own too. Okay, interesting. I think we just take Nahiri's Warcrafting here. Solid, albeit unexciting card. Like, yeah, I don't think it's Luris. Agatha Soul Cauldron is fine, but yeah, I think we just take Nahiri's Warcrafting. We're pretty solidly red. We could end up cutting the blue, but I do really like having access to counter magic, especially against decks that are probably going to be pretty broken. Interesting. Chain Lightning versus Brazen Borrower. Really close pick. I think I'm actually going to take the Borrower. Chain Lightning's great, but it's more replaceable. We already have two burn spells that we can find stuff like this, whereas bounce spells are good, and like they're especially good against like unfair stuff like Reanimator, and we also can just like cast this as a tempo threat. The 3/1 flyer body is way more relevant in blue red than it is in most blue based color combinations. So looking less and less like we'll be sneaking, but we'll see. If Atali comes around, we'll definitely go for it. Eternal or Inferno Titan would also be the sort of thing we'd want to sneak in. Ooh, I love Glorybringer a lot, but I don't think we can pass Rogren Triumph here. Yeah, we'll take this. Close pick. Vendilion Click, perfect. That's exactly the kind of card this deck is looking for. Torrential Gearhulk could get there. Woodfall Primus is good with sneak attack, but I think I'm more in on just being a blue-red tempo deck than I am on being a sneak attack deck here. And it's like, it's not even an elite sneak. It's like good, but doesn't win the game on the spot like some things do. Yeah, we'll take the click. Deck looks very solid. Two burn spells, two counter spells, two 3/1s with flash and flying, and then Alalia, our first pick. So I think that we're gonna get. That was our first pack. Now we're gonna get to our second pack, which was the one that had Atali in it. So we'll see if the Atali wheels. Pretty unlikely to though, because Reanimator likes it so much. Yeah, this pack is not good for us. We'll take Palantir. Not a card I'm super high on in general, but it is better when you're pressuring their life total. At the very least, it's a good sideboard card in certain matchups. But I think I'm pretty set on blue-red here. We could have like considered a mono-white pivot or something, but I think this is open enough. I just don't think pivoting right here makes sense. Okay. Let's take the Ashen Rider now. That's a sneak attack card. I don't think Cruel Ultimatum is where we want to be. It's spicy, but I'll take Ashen Rider. Okay, I think it's Mind Collapse over Hell Rider or Massacre Worm here. Mind Collapse is a great removal spell, honestly. This card has kind of impressed me. I didn't realize they could hit Planeswalkers at first, but like 0 mana to kill a Planeswalker is a pretty big game. Okay, we'll take Sacred Foundry. Good for potential White Splash if we see any Teferi action. I think this is looking less and less likely with each passing pack. Especially since we have other good threats. But we will play it if we get... Well, one thing, Palantir becomes better if we were playing Ashen Rider and stuff like that. And then, yeah, well, like if we see through the breach, that would be tempting. If we see through the breach versus Ponder, honestly, I'll take the Ponder. Ooh, we could maybe play Showdown with the Scalds. Yeah, I think I'm feeling just more like a blue-red / Jeskai tempo deck than a sneak attack deck. The best thing we could get here would probably just be Ancestral Recall. I think that would most likely be better than Black Lotus for us. Maybe not. Moxon would be amazing, of course, as well. Outside of the like obvious ones, I mean Ragavan, maybe that counts as an obvious one too. Steam Vents, great pickup. There's also Snapcaster Mage, which would be helpful as well, but I think we definitely want to take Steam Vents here. I'm not too worried about playables. Even if we cut like the sort of sketchy ones, that's still 8, which is more than we need, and that's cutting a lot of cards that we might end up playing. Yeah, we'll take the Steam Vents. A lot of white cards here. It's no chance Snapcaster Mage wheels. Honestly, I don't think we're going to wheel anything from this pack. Maybe Fire Blast as a sideboard card. Actually, I guess we might splash white. Yeah, I could imagine wheeling like one of these two equipment and splashing that, but there's actually 3 equipment in this pack. Stoneforge's Dream. We also have been seeing a lot of Storm stuff going around. One player is definitely going to be playing Storm, and that will probably be a good matchup for us with a couple counterspells, but we'll be looking for more counterspells for sure. Wow, good pack. I think I'm just going to take the Volcanic Island. Caracas is very tempting. Great card. It also is good with and against us. Wait, maybe... Do we just take Caracas, actually? We just took Steam Vents, which makes, yeah, I think Caracas actually is the pick here over Volcanic Island. Not many lands I would take over Volcanic Island, certainly, but this looks great, and we might even end up splashing white, so the mana might be better than colorless mana. Subtlety is strong too. Leyline Binding could be good, but yeah, I think it is Caracas here. Interesting pick. Ooh, okay, there's Inferno Titan. There's also Treasure Cruise and Faithless Looting. We should probably take the Looting. We don't have particular combos with it, it's just a broken card. If we wheel Treasure Cruise, that would be great. If we wheel Shark Typhoon, that would be fine. But Faithless Looting looks really good here, just to add a lot of consistency. We could get Chandler, we could get like Murktide, but just smoothing our draws is super valuable. This is like better than Ponder and Preordain in most decks, even if you're not doing combo stuff with it. I guess we should keep these in play. Like this, the Sneak Attack is another slight point for Inferno Titan, but I think Faithless Looting is still the pick. Just a really, really good card. Ooh. Okay, we'll take a Dak Phaeton. Great card. In our colors, stealing artifacts is great. Fire Covenant is maybe the most broken card here. Thieving Skydiver is worse than Dak Phaeton. Exhume is not what we're doing, but good card. We did just take Faithless Looting. There is a world where we backdoor into Grixis Reanimator, but I don't think Reanimator is open. Like we saw kind of late Necromancy, but yeah, let's just take the Dak. Interesting. Kiki Jiki. That is almost definitely the pick, actually. We don't have anything that combos with it yet, but seeing this somewhat late is a good sign, and that gives us a really nice angle of attack. Yeah, I think I like taking Kiki here. We're not missing out on much, like Jetmir's Garden could be good. Yeah, we'll take the Kiki. Okay. Bit of a brick for us here, unfortunately. Kolagon's Command is the best card, but I don't think it's going to be very easy for us to splash black. We don't need Rabbit Battery. Mother of Runes is good. I think and Sower of Temptation is fine, but not exciting. I think I'm going to take Containment Priest as a sideboard card against Reanimator, which we'll probably play at some point. Yeah, seems fine. Okay, Venser is good, especially with Caracas, but so is Windswept Heath. But actually, I think Venser is like incredibly good here. Yeah, Fetchland would be. I would take Fetchland over most things. Oh, maybe we're supposed to take it. But Venser is great with Caracas. It's great at protecting our combo. Also, just plays well with a general tempo game plan. Yeah, I think Venser is one of the relatively few cards I would take over Windswept Heath here. But now we'll take the Colonnade. Incinerate's good too, and we do want a little bit more removal, but I think there's a decent chance we end up splashing white. And Colonnade just a great card. Sorry, Incinerate. So TBD on this Kiki. We're getting a little bit late to have nothing to combo with it, and I don't typically like to play just like one Kiki Jiki and one Pestermite in my deck with no like ways to smooth my draw. Okay, Gideon is powerful, but I think we take Lion Sash here. Yeah, I'm not that interested in a double white card. Ooh, Subtlety and Leyline Binding both wheeled. There's also Temple Garden, which doesn't really help us. Let's take the Subtlety. Good pickup. I like having some free interaction. We should have enough blue cards for it. It's also good with Kiki Jiki in some situations. This deck is looking good. Man, this had Kumano Faces Kakazan and Inferno Titan, and then also had Treasure Cruise and Shark Typhoon. In both cases, we wheeled the one that we don't want. Karmic Guide is actually kind of interesting if we're doing Kiki stuff, but I think we should still just take the Shark Typhoon. Yeah, this deck is trying to play somewhat at instant speed. Actually, we play a lot of instant speed. We have a lot of flash threats, which makes this way better. But Subtlety, Venser, Click, Brazen Borrower, in addition to our counter magic and removal. Yeah, looks like a good deck for Shark Typhoon. The Kiki Dream may die, which will be okay. Can we ever make a Black Splash work for Fire Covenant? Probably not, so I'll take Robber of the Rich. Probably won't play it in the main deck, but not the worst to have access to. Now I'll take Seething Song and not play it in the main deck. Rabbit Battery could get there. There is a world where we end up playing Stoneforge, since we already have the Lion Sash. And last pick Containment Priest, okay. Or last pick Mutavault. So, pack 3. Good pack for us here. Burst Lightning is a good cheap interactive spell. Seachrome Coast and Xander's Lounge are both good pieces of fixing, but I think it's just Spell Pierce here. Really good pickup. Spell Pierce is going to be important in a lot of matchups. I do want some more cheap burn though. We're definitely a little light on that. Wow. Okay. This this does a lot. Two excellent fetchable lands and a fetch land and Stoneforge, and then like maybe Shieldbreaker would be the next best. I think we take the Scalding Tarn. It can already get all of our colors. Yeah, we'll just take this and then hopefully wheel like Plateau maybe. Stoneforge probably won't come around, but maybe. It's possible the mono white player would prefer Relic Warder. Yeah, lots of good stuff in this pack for us, but we'll take the Scalding Tarn. The mana is passable. We also like not really playing white right now. One, two, three, four, five. I mean, I'll just play Showdown with Scalds off of 5 white sources for sure. That's good. And we actually are kind of light on card advantage. Hopefully we can get some more. Ooh, 2 fetch lands, but also Expressive Iteration and Odawara. Very interesting pack. Do we think that Expressive Iteration will wheel? Probably not. Someone took this the Volcanic Island. Iteration is so good here. Yeah, as much as I would love a fetch land, I think I actually will take Iteration. There's been a couple times where I've passed fetch lands this draft, which feels almost illegal, but yeah, we'll take this. We're not even playing white right now, and our blue-red mana is fine. We have 3 duels. Okay, Ponder looks great. There's Through the Breach, but I think that ship has kind of sailed. If it wheels, maybe we go for it. But yeah, definitely taking Ponder here. That's great. I would love to get a Delve card. We didn't get the Treasure Cruise, but we're going to fill our graveyard very quickly. So Murktide Region would honestly be the best, but Dig Through Time would be good too. Yeah, we have 2 almost combos, but I think neither one's going to end up getting there. Okay, could take a Triome. That would give us 2 black sources. We don't really need black, but it just like is a blue-white land also. Maybe that's just not worth it though, since we're barely even playing blue. I mean, barely playing white. Which is better, Scrapwork Mutt or Rona? Probably Rona. There's also like Metamorphose and Karzev, but neither of those are very exciting. Yeah, we'll take a Rona. Um, we can't do Uro, unfortunately. We just don't have the green mana. We'll take a Rampaging Raptor. Not a super exciting pick, but it's pretty good. There is also Winds of Abandon, which is actually a consideration, but I think we need a little bit more of a top end if we're not going to be playing any combos. And Rampaging Raptor is quite good. Also good against Planeswalkers, which could be somewhat of a weakness. The lack of burn is a huge liability. At this point, we have only Nahiri's Warcrafting, a Braid, and like Mind Collapse, so we don't even have any... We only have 2 cards that cost less than 3. So hopefully we can find some burn. Ooh, Consider versus Squee. Close pick, but I think we actually take Squee here. We're gonna be. This is like a way to use our graveyard, which is great. Consider solid too, but we don't have any particular combos with it. It just like adds a bit of consistency. It is a blue card for subtlety, but yeah, let's take the Squee. This actually looks really good here. Huh. There's Splinter Twin, but we didn't get anything that is the other half of the combo. So I don't think we're going for that. We're not going for a Black Splash. I don't want Steamkin. So the question is, do we take Wall of Omens or Porcelain Legionnaire? Honestly, I think we take the Legionnaire. I think this deck is like kind of aggressive. Yep. Burst Lightning Wield. That's awesome. Beaumont Courier could be good. Wrath of God could be a sideboard card, but easy Burst Lightning. Now Mizzy Mortars. Okay. Love to see it. Couple late pickups that are like not super flashy, but they really plugged a hole that we needed to address, which is the lack of efficient ways to kill creatures. Okay, do we want Odawara or Sviloon? I don't think this card is that good, although it's better when we have Legends. I think we do still just take the Odawara. We already have... We only need one more spell, and we have plenty of stuff on the sideboard that we could play. So let's take the Odawara. Imperial Recruiter could get there. I'm not excited about it, though. I prefer to play something else, since we're not comboing with it. It is really too bad we didn't see Pestermite or Splinter Twin, or Kiki Jiki. Oof. I mean, Pestermite or Deceiver Exarch, final answer. Okay, I think we just take Manamorphose here. Does this help us at all? I don't want to play against Stripmine Wasteland, I'm taking this. Okay, so we could run it like this. I think Robber of the Rich actually seems probably better than Manamorphose here. I don't think we want Rabbit Battery. Do we want the Legionnaire and or do we want the Containment Priest? How free is the White Splash? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white sources. That's fine for Showdown, but I don't think I want to splash Containment Priest off of that. We could. It's really good in some matchups, but I think it's not the right pick. Is Manamorphose better than anything we have right now? I don't think so. It's like kind of helpful mana fixing, but I think our fixing is fine enough already. I do think we want 17 lands in this deck for sure. Yeah, I think we run it like this. So it is worth noting Showdown of the Scald is our only like pure card advantage card other than Expressive Iteration. So we could definitely get outgrinded like just by it. Like I really wish we had Ancestral Recall. Yeah, this deck is basically just, it's not flashy. It's consistent, it has good mana, it has lots of interaction. We have, at this point, like 5 cheap burn spells, 3 cheap counter spells, 2 ways to bounce stuff, subtlety. Like, we're going to be interactive, we're going to be playing a pretty good tempo game, we'll be kind of fast, but we're not going to be killing on turn 4, and we're not going to be doing any crazy combos, which is not great, because most decks are going to be doing one of the two of those, or being like an insanely good control deck, and we don't have like 6 counter spells plus Fractured Identity. So I'm a little worried we're going to be caught in the middle somewhat. And our nut draws are just not that good, but we're going to be consistent and interactive, which is definitely a good place to be. Let's see how the mana base looks. Dead even. I guess we have one more red card, but Odawar is also like kind of a blue card. So how's it look if we just do this? For blue, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For red, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And for white, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's actually a little worse than I was hoping it was going to be. 9 red sources is not a ton. Even though we technically do have one more red card than blue, I'm leaning towards playing an extra island because we have like just a lot more double blue cards. Okay, yeah, I think we'll run it like this. So our primary win conditions, I mean, we actually have a lot, like Squee, Lalia, Rampaging Raptor, Colonnade, and then just beat with these flash creatures. Maybe this deck is actually better than I'm giving it credit for, because we can really play at instant speed well. Just like pass and hold up like Subtlety plus Venser plus Vendilion Click, and then just do whatever we need to do there. So I think we'll be pretty good against control, not because we can overpower them, but because we can just like worm our way around them and leverage play skill plus like a bunch of stuff that's hard to play against. We'll be solid against aggressive decks, I think. Maybe not amazing because we don't have tons of cheap burn, but I think we can just like again sort of outmaneuver most creature decks. And yeah, combo should be a good matchup too. I think like a yeah, maybe we actually just don't have any terrible matchups. With the flip side of that being we don't have any like free wins either. It's not like a blue-white control deck that's playing 3 board sweepers versus mono green. Yeah, I think this deck looks solid, consistent, powerful. There's not like a specific archetype that I wish we had pushed for. Could have taken through the breach and pushed harder on that. But I think this looks a little bit better. I do wish we got there on the Kiki combo. That would be a really nice dimension here. Do we want to play Palantir or Thank? Hmm. Not a card that I'm typically super high on. I think it's that versus Robber of the Rich, basically. Robber of the Rich is. It's not like we have a super low curve. Although it's good with like Subtlety and Mind Collapse, free spells. I think Robber of the Rich is a bit better for game one. It's more proactive. Maybe I'm underrating Palantir. Could cut Shark Typhoon, but I think that plays really well with our overall game plan. I don't think I want to cut a land. I think I'm going to start with a Palantir in the board. We'll bring it in certain matchups, and it will be occasionally good. Also worth noting, Mutavault's a consideration. I don't think I'm going to play it in the main deck. Our fixing just isn't quite good enough for that. We could cut the Showdown of the Scalds for Mutavault, or for Palantir, actually. But no, Showdown looks pretty good here. Okay, yeah. We'll run like this. Solid deck, Jessica, or like really blue-red tempo. But blue-red tempo seems good. No Ragavan, no Ancestral, but a lot of good stuff going on. We're going to play instant speed. We're going to be very disruptive and tempo-y, and we're going to win. See you in round 4. All right, round 4. On the draw against Piet 0410. Ooh, man. No blue sources, but we do have turn 2 interactive spell. We're on the draw. I think I'm going to risk it and keep. If I didn't have the Mizzy Mortars, I definitely wouldn't do it. But like any hand that can hit at least 2 land drops and interact on the second turn is like that's a solid baseline on the draw. Nice, perfect draw. Well, maybe not perfect because we don't have Spell Pierce up, but we do have Daze up if we really need it. I'm not going to Daze that. I'm just going to hit it with Mizzy Mortars. Okay, we'll play Island so that we can Daze without returning our tapped land. And we don't need to worry about Daze because we have the Daze. So playing against... They're probably not a big Reanimator deck if they're playing Dark Confidant. I'm going to Daze this because we don't have another good answer to it, and I really don't want that to flip and start looting, or just giving card advantage. So now, do we want to play Rona? Ooh, Robber of the... no, Robber of the Rich is not good here. I mean, it's not the worst. Rona or Robber? I think I'm going to play the Rona. Hitting for 2 is just not that relevant. Misery Shadow, interesting. Not a card I see very often. They missed their land drop, okay. So we'll go land, Robber of the Rich, attack, and unfortunately we don't get to trigger it this turn. We'll see if they want to trade. They don't, sure. Voidwalker. That's annoying. We don't have a good answer to it. We could Subtlety. Oh, Subtlety actually looks good because then Robber of the Rich will trigger and we can potentially cast their thing. Yeah, let's go for this. Oh, that's funny. Our Subtlety is going to get exiled. Not that that's super important, but it is gonna. So we'll see if they realize that we can hit it with Robber. They should definitely put it on the bottom. Yeah, they do. Okay, we'll loot. Discard Sacred Foundry. Okay, so let's play. They're doing this so we can't actually attack with the Robber of the Rich. That's too bad. So we'll go Land Showdown. And again, we don't need to play around Spell Pierce because we're the one with Spell Pierce. Interesting. Do we want to mind collapse this? Yeah, I think we do. Do we attack for three, or do we leave back Rona to loot away this Scalding Tarn? I think I am actually going to leave back Rona, because I really don't need this Scalding Tarn, especially with a Mountain to play next turn. But maybe the damage is actually pretty... Yeah, actually, I think the damage is relevant. We hit Blightsteel Colossus, hilarious. And, like, kind of too bad. I would love for them to draw that. They concede. Wow. Interesting. Okay. So they're playing blue-black. What are they doing with Blightsteel? I guess they must be doing Tinker, even though we didn't see any artifacts. So, interesting. Game one. They missed a couple land drops and were able to take it down. Let's bring in Containment Priest. Containment Priest is like not as good as you want it to be against Tinker because they can just choose to get a non-creature. Maybe we don't even do that actually because we have a couple answers to... We have two bounce spells already. We can also steal it with Dak, and we can counter the Tinker, so I think we just don't even care. If I see more stuff, I'll bring in Containment Priest, but if it's just one Tinker, that's fine. We're playing all of our ways to kill artifacts already. They have a couple annoying creatures. Burst Lightning seems amazing. Like we've seen 3 2-drop creatures that lose to that die to Burst Lightning. I don't think we want to make any changes. Could bring in the Legionnaire, but I think everything in the main deck just seems a little better. Palantir on the draw seems clunky and kind of bad. They do have some graveyard hate, which makes Squee a bit worse, but I think it's fine. Alright, on the draw. Solid hand, nothing super fancy, but interactive, good. Got a good mix of land, spells, threats, interaction. Actually, all 3 of our threats are dual threats. This is threat plus interaction, this is threat plus card draw, and this is also threat plus card draw. We also have an answer to a Blightsteel if they go for that. Okay, we'll place Mountain. Doesn't. Oh, well, is there ever a world where we. No, no, no. Even if we draw Island or Counterspell, it's not like we could do Counterspell. Okay, Talisman is fine. I think I'm going to abrade that main phase. It's kind of tempting to like hope they go for Tinker, but they still might go for Tinker. Yeah, the fact that they're not cracking their bauble makes it look like Tinker. Which again, would be great. That's what we want to see. Unless they have counter magic to back it up. Oh no, they sacked their bauble, so it looks like they're not going for Tinker. Thief of Sanity, alright. We have a few ways to kill that. I think we're just going to play Mizium Mortars. They have a lot of threats that are soft to burn spells, which is great. Chromo Sea Shark, that's also soft to burn spells, but I don't really love the idea of Mind collapsing here. We'll see if we hit a land. We don't. I think it's still worth it, even though it's not great. Really hoping to hit a land off of the Lelia here. Alright, that's like secretly a good hit for us because we really did not want to draw it. Although it's not as bad if we have Faithless Looting. So we have a threat on the board, but we also are way behind on mana. They go for that, playing around days. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but fair enough. We get to draw a card. Okay. So we'll play Odawara and pass. I'm not going to play the looting yet, because there's still a chance that Daze and Spell Pierce are good, but their window is narrowing, so I'm going to discard that if we don't draw a threat soon. And then I don't think I want to make a 1-1 Shark here. I think I'd rather try to trade Shark with Airtight Resurrected. Let's draw land. Not the land we were looking for. I think I'm still just gonna pass for a turn. We also could just play Brazen Bar as a 3-1, but I don't think we're trying to be aggressive like that right now. Urborg, interesting. The Scarab God. Well, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a huge problem, honestly. We can bounce it this turn, so it's not going to be a problem immediately, but we don't have enough pressure to race this. Can we draw a counterspell? Celestial Colonnade. No, we can't. Alright. We're going to pass. We're going to make it 2-2 and trade with Airtile Resurrected. Oh, Caracas would totally brick the Scarab God. That's what we're hoping to find. Or if they like get greedy and somehow play into days here, but I would be surprised to see that. Squee, not really what we wanted. Do we have anything that deals with the Scarab God out of our board? Because that is a huge problem, honestly. We don't have anything other than just like I mean I guess countering it is a fine plan. But yeah, this is we need to find one of our enters immediately. We have Venser and Caracas. Caracas being preferable, of course. Oh, so close. So close. Faithless Looting. Okay, we'll discard Daze and Spell Pierce. We'll Iteration. Tough looks. Alright. And bottom. Exile. Land go. But now they can just make a Scarab God. They can make like an instant speed Airtile Resurrected or something. I think we're gonna have to settle this one in game 3. They even have enough mana for double Scarab God activation now. My opponent is, or my opponent, my roommate, who's not my opponent, he's great. He's playing a shooting game in the background. Hopefully that's not too audible for y'all. Scarab God? I mean Caracas? Rampaging Raptor. I think we're just dead on board, but playing our threats is not going to win for sure, so we'll try this. Go for the Caracas. No luck. And then they just like make anything with the Scarab God, I'll concede. This card's good against us for sure. You got me. On the play for game 3, that helps a lot. Let's try to be fast. Um, Palantir is kind of tempting. Since it can just like burn out our opponent. Like, what if we just do this? I'm honestly still gonna splash white just for Colonnade. And then we just go a little bit more aggressive. Maybe we actually don't want to splash for Colonnade though. But no, Showdown of the Skulls is actually really good. Like, making our creatures bigger too is pretty relevant. Yeah, let's just run it back. Well, our deck is good. I think we can win. We lost that one, but I think we can win. Line Sash is okay against the Scarab God, but too narrow. We're just going to either win before they play the Scarab God, or, I mean, we have the Crocus. Oh, man. This hand is not aggressive, of course. We do have 2 burn spells, which seems important in the matchup, and we have Caracas, which is great against everything that we've seen, pretty much. Yeah, I think this is a keep, a reluctant keep. Gonna grab a Jeskai land on turn 1 here. If our deck was broken, we could mulligan hands like this more often, but we don't have Ancestral Recall, we don't have any combos, we kind of need quantity of resources. Looting is a good draw. Not gonna play it yet, though. Which 2-drop creature do they play? That one. Alright. Just go for the end of turn. Burst Lightning. It would be great if we could draw a threat here. There we go. We haven't seen much counter magic. I think I'm going to go for the draw step. If they do have a counter for the click, so be it. Although actually with Caracas, maybe Click is a huge part of our game plan. Yeah, that's a really good combo. Still, I think like I want to see the extra cards. They're gonna crack the bubble. We get to see two more cards. I think that's worth it. All right, Vendilion Click. Let's see what they got. Our hand is pretty light, of course, so if they can deal with this Click effectively and they have like multiple threats, things could get a little hairy. Interesting. So, gotta just be Tinker here. We don't have an answer. We have a lot of answers in our deck, but yeah, we're taking Tinker for sure. Baleful Strix. That's annoying against the Vendilion Click as an attacker, but that doesn't do anything against the Vendilion Click as a um like a Caracas card. So yeah, I'm just gonna main phase pick this up, then go back to their then pass again. And we can basically thought use them every turn. It's like not card advantage or disadvantage. We're just gonna like try to basically mana flood them by taking all their spells and like they'll presumably be drawing bad cards at least some of the times off of this. Um okay, I think we take the Force of Will here. Because that can break up our combo. They can take our Inquisition, our Faithless Looting, that's fine. Honestly, them animating Creeping Tar Pit is maybe scarier. Yeah, I'll take the Force. We'll need to eventually kill this if we're trying to attack with a Click, but we don't necessarily need to do that. They only kind of take the Faithless Looting because we can still flash it back. Now they're playing their artifacts out, sure. That is not a good attack. Why would you trade 1 damage for 3 damage here? Subtlety, interesting draw. Is it interesting enough that we don't actually click, we don't actually go for a Vendilion Click in their draw step? Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna let them, I'm not gonna go for the Click. If they don't play anything, I will do Click end of turn. Here's Pentad Prism, yep. So they're holding Urborg and 2 unknowns. Could Click in response now, but I think I still just won't. Okay. We could actually just Mind Collapse this Baleful Strix. It's not a super exciting line, but I think that actually looks pretty good here. Because we do need to kill them, and this way we can, yeah, well, they get a 2 for 1, they spend 2 mana, we spend 4 mana, and it's a 2 for 1, but I'm still happy with the exchange somehow. We drew. Maybe it would have been better to go for that instead, but this is fine. Attack for 3, and I'm just going to pass. And again, not click them in draw step. We haven't seen any things that are, that any non-creatures that really get us here. And I would love to be able to just subtlety something and double our power on the board. Try and actually close out this game quickly. Play another swamp. Hopefully this is a creature. It's a creeping tar pit attack, sure. So we could just go for the subtlety here. Just jam it. I don't think that's correct though. Beautiful. And they will probably, oh, I mean they should definitely put this on the bottom. Alright, now we have 6 power. Verona's actually a really good draw because we can flip it. Although, we don't have triple blue. I think it's better to click them in their draw step here. Wow, alright. Got the job done. We basically just won with Vendilion Click there. That showcases the power of Caracas, and that's also why I prioritize Legends more highly than normal. We took Venture over a fetch land for this reason. Obviously, Venture's not the one we were recurring here, but like Click plus Caracas is incredibly good, and this is kind of a perfect deck for it too, where you're backing it up with like counter magic and cheap removal. Yeah, that was awesome. See you in round 5. All right, back for the semifinals, round five. Currently 4-0, and oof, I'm going to keep this hand, but it's really sketchy. The problem is, none of these cards are good when we're behind. We have like both of our card draw spells in our hand, and Robber of the Rich is not good when we're on the draw. There's a real argument for mulliganing this. I think I'm going to keep it in the dark, just because like it's a good mix of lands and spells that has a pretty good curve. It's like a playable hand, but the problem is it doesn't interact well, so if our opponent has a really broken draw, we're in trouble. And our opponent's deck is probably pretty good. But yeah, all our colors. Odal also is like a card that's good when we're behind potentially. So we'll try it. Hopefully nothing too broken from the opponent here. It's been a good day for Magic overall for me. In between the rounds, I've done a couple drafts actually, because there's typically long waits, and it's the last day, and so I got a trophy with a sweet Jeskai Tempo deck, and then got a trophy with the one that started this league, of course. And then I'm currently 1-0 in my other league with a 4-color green deck, and 1-0 in this league. So that's 8-0 today overall in matches. Hoping to make it 10 by winning this one and the next one. Jetmir's Garden. I was happy to see Jetmir's Garden, not happy to see a Mox. Kind of weird that they played it out on turn 1. I guess they're not afraid of Embereth Shieldbreaker. Okay, I'm happy to see that. We'll see what they get with it. They might get Palace Jailer, which could be an issue. This feels like a pretty big moment in the league, depending on what they get here. What do we want them to get? I guess just like, I mean, even like a Blade Splicer is pretty good here. The problem, being in the draw with an iffy hand against the Mox is never a good place to be. We could have shipped this. Mm. Okay, they get Dahlia. That's probably good for us. Do we want to trade 2 damage for 1 damage? I think I will. There's definitely an argument to leaving it back, but like we're kind of an aggressive deck too. I don't think we're not like playing the full control role in this matchup. We don't have like board sweepers, so I'll trade 2 for 1 here. Then they're gonna play Thalia, which is gonna mean we can't play iteration pre land drop next turn. So we need to decide if we want to just play iteration, except that we're not gonna get a 2 for 1. And unfortunately, I think I will do that if we draw a brick. Hopefully, we just draw a burn spell. If we draw Burst Lightning, we can just like develop the Steam Vents, Burst Lightning the Thalia, and then like untap and be in great shape for the following turn. But if we do draw a brick, I don't think we want to just like play land go and then plan on playing iteration the following turn. This is just gonna be like a glorified anticipate, just 2 mana or three mana. Look at the top 3 cards and put one into your hand. Man, looking for something that interacts with the board in some way. I don't really get my opponent's pause here, unless they're double queuing or something. Okay, sure. So we'll go hand, bottom, exile, and honestly, like, that's basically the same as getting a 2 for 1. That mountain would have done us no good, so I'm totally fine with that being an exile. We'll pass. They did miss their land drop here. Like, that was the best thing they could do last turn. If they miss their land drop again and don't really develop the board, they're not doing too much. Oh, well, they do hit the land. Hopefully they don't have a terrifying 4-drop, but it looks like they do. Hellrider or something? Oh, Glimmerlens? That's fine. That's honestly totally fine. Lelia, interesting. Do you want to play Lelia and attack? Yeah, I think we do. If they double block, I'm okay with that. Yeah, that honestly seems fine. They can't bolt this because of the Thalia. I think the Thalia is actually taxing them just as badly as it's taxing us right now. Of course, we're not sending in the Robber of the Rich. That will just get killed by first strike. But a 3-3 is better than a 2-2 here, it turns out. If we hit a land, we can play it. Mizzy Mortar's bummer. That would have been a good draw. Really good draw, actually. That's like our board sweeper. We could have overloaded that in a couple turns. Yeah, very sad to see that go. It'll be interesting to see how they block here. They just take it, okay. So they get to hit us back kind of hard, and they get to draw a card, but then we can hit them back again. I mean, it seems like an okay position. I mean, we're good against the board at least. It depends. They have 5 spells, or at least 4 spells in their hand. They probably have some good stuff. So I do think we're pretty behind, but we're very much in it still. So attack for 4. I'm not going to block with the Robber of the Rich for sure. We're just going to take 4. And then try to attack back with a pretty big hit. Do we have any good sideboard cards for this matchup? Maybe Porcelain Legionnaire. Yeah, honestly, Legionnaire looks good here. Nothing else seems great, though. Alright, big moment here. What can they do? If they play something like Dies to Burst Lightning, or they somehow don't play anything, we're in a good position, because we can attack back for 6, remove one of their creatures, we're going to get a couple looks at finding more action. We can also Odoar bounce something for 3 mana, because it costs less for each legendary creature we have, which is 1. So we can bounce plus Burst Lightning. That is bad. That removes like all of our pressure, honestly. The Robber of the Rich alone is not going to get the job done. What's their other play? Embereth Shieldbreaker. Okay. So, yeah, this is looking not unwinnable per se, but quite bad. We could go Odoar, bounce Thalia, Burst Lightning, kill the Shieldbreaker, attack if we really want to get a hit with the Robber. That would also stabilize the board a little bit. The other option would be to just play Showdown of the Skulls, but that seems way too slow. So as weak as this line is, I think it is unfortunately what we need to do. So yeah, and I will bounce the Thalia too. It's not great, but it means we get to hit them with. It means we get to trigger the Robber of the Rich, which I think is like pretty relevant here. We need to hit some good stuff from them. And if they don't replay their Thalia, then we can get more value off of our Showdown of the Skulls. Beaumont Courier, not great. So if they want to trigger their Glimmer Lens to draw a card, they need to attack us with both creatures, which will potentially leave them open on the backswing. But really, we're kind of grasping at straws here. They just have so much action in their hand. So they come in for 3, put us to 11, draw a card. We need them to brick on the land drop and then not have relevant... Like, if they just replay Thalia and don't do much else, we're okay. Chandra, Torch of Defiance to kill this Robber of the Rich. Oh, plus for mana. Interesting. Sure. We don't have great answers to the Chandra. We do have bounce spells. Oh, we do have great answers to the Chandra. That's not as... Like, if we had 1 more mana, we could kill it, which would be great. But still, very good draw. We can just attack them for 4, and then this triggers to deal damage to their Chandra too. And it puts them to 9. And then next turn we can attack for 8 with this. So we don't quite have lethal next turn, but we're threatening a lot of damage. But the problem is they still have the Chandra, and they can add mana with it to deploy their hand. Plus, it looks like based on this pause that they have Solitude. Honestly, this actually should be a pretty good matchup. I think we're doing similar things, but I think we can just go a little over the top, and we have a reasonable amount of removal for their threats. We're behind in this game for sure. In a game where like we were on the draw and they had a mox, but if neither player has a mox and we're both just like playing on curve, I think we are favored here. However, if we lose game one, then even if we're like 60% in both of the sideboard games, it's not great odds. And when I say favorite, I'm talking like 60% or less. I don't think this is like some crazy lopsided matchup. Showdown of the Scalds might be the cut here. It's like you can see here, just pretty awkward to spend 4 mana or even 5 against Thalia to not impact the board. Legionnaire is not amazing either. It doesn't trade that well against any of their cheap interaction. If we like pay 2 mana and 2 life and then they just chain lightning it or even Embereth Shieldbreaker it, that's a pretty bad exchange for us. So maybe we don't want the Legionnaire. Our opponent is at like this is turn 6. It has not been a long game at all, and they're already used like over 8 minutes of their time. Okay, they do Solitude. Unfortunate. So their hand is Thalia and two unknowns that are both spells. Yeah, I'm not in concession territory yet, but we're definitely getting close. Especially with Mizium Mortar's gone. That was one of our best cards. What are we hoping to draw? I think it's. Yeah, I can't really think of much that would get us out of this. Like, honestly, Ferocidon was our best draw by a lot, and that's gone now. I think the key is going to be to just not fall behind on board. Tempo decks in general play much, much better when you're slightly ahead on board or even. If you're like passing with mana up and like they have to respond to you and you have all these instant speed threats and you can bounce their creature and then attack, like that's really what we want to be doing. We're not good at playing from behind. That's some nice value for them for sure. I don't think Containment Priest is good. We could just play Metamorphose, although that's pretty awkward against Thalia. I don't think we want to go sneak attack Ashen Rider. There's Thalia, she's back. 2, 4, 6, click. I think we need something better than a Vendilion Click here, so we're gonna go for Showdown. Hope to hit like tons of removal somehow. I really don't even know what we could hit here. That was kind of a disaster, I guess. They saw all of our cheap interaction. They literally saw 3 free interactive spells. This is why these are all so good when you're ahead, but when you're behind like we are now, they don't do anything. Um, we can Mind Collapse the Chandra. Guess I'll do that. Feels pretty bad. I guess we shouldn't have 6 because we could theoretically daze or subtlety. Yeah, honestly, this should be a good matchup. We have a lot of things that line up pretty well against them. Maybe we're supposed to well, actually, knowing that what we're up against, I would have mulliganed that hand for sure. We want a hand that has interaction, but we actually have so much free interaction. In addition to a lot of cheap burn, and then like cheap threats that are fairly good against what they're doing. Jite. Yeah. I would normally have conceded a while ago, but when it's round 5 of a 64-player elimination draft, I think it's worth playing for the 1%, but maybe it's actually 0% at this point. I'll take a draw just in case there's something weird I'm not thinking of. Like, I might not have remembered that we have a board. Like, Mizium Borders is gone, but like that's the kind of card like, oh, like that actually does more than we thought it would do here. That's a possibility. Down to 5. They can also just kill our click easily. We draw Rona, that is not going to do the trick. Okay. So, down a game to Boros Aggro in the semifinals. Honestly, on the play, I'm gonna keep Showdown. On the draw, I might make that exchange, but I think I like just keeping our plan for game two when we're going first. Even if they have a Mox, it like that game they had three mana when we had one. This game, even if they have a Mox, it's like 2-2 basically. It's even because we get to be on the play. And then of course, best case scenario, they don't have a Mox and we actually get to be ahead on mana. I wish we had a Mox, of course. We didn't get any power in either of our decks, I think. That's too bad. I actually haven't gotten in any of my. Oh, I got a Soul Ring in my green deck. That's currently 1-0. If you count Soul Ring as power, then we got one there. But yeah, beyond that, like no fast mana, no ancestral, no time walk, not even like mana drain. That's okay though. You don't need broken stuff. You just need to be solid and consistent, and for your opponent to not draw Mox. I do wish we had more cheap burn spells too. If we had like Firebolt and Lightning Bolt, there's a couple more one mana removal spells. This matchup would go from like I think slightly favorable to quite favorable. Also like board sweepers other than Mizzy Mortars, if we had Fiery Confluence, that would be really helpful. But that's alright. We no scarcity mindset here. We're not worried about what we don't have. We're excited about what we do have. We're gonna spell pierce their Mox on turn one. Then we're gonna go turn two Robber of the Rich, hit them and take their second Mox. Then turn three Rampaging Raptor and subtlety their play, and then kill them on turn four. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. We have nine creatures. That's not so. Thalia is good, but not completely backbreaking against us. Deciding Thran Dynamos are anti-Thalia attack. That will pay the one. Okay, good hand. I mean, like way better if they don't have a one drop. I don't want to have to daze on turn one, but if we can counterspell their first play and then Vendilion click on an empty board with daze up, that's a great position. We need to find a little bit more action, but yeah, definitely a good hand. For a hand that has no burn spells, pretty much perfect. Damn. Oh, maybe we're supposed. Actually, we're probably supposed to daze that. Maybe not though. You could try like Mother of Runes is obviously a great card, but it doesn't do anything on its own. It's only good in conjunction with other stuff. So if we're able to like counter their first two threats and then play Vendilion Click and attack, okay, they just pass. I'm a big proponent of attacking with Mother of Runes, but this is not a situation to do it into like open red mana. Man, back to back mountains is pretty much worst case scenario there. They're gonna play end of turn. Oh, they don't have any creatures. I'm not gonna click them. I think I'd rather just line up a counterspell with one of their things. Interesting. Honestly, I'm gonna let this resolve, and we can just counter whatever they get with it. I don't really care about the 1/1 body, and this way we get to develop our threat. And if we really care about what they get with this, we can just click it. Interesting position. But I think that is the correct play. And our best bet here is to find more threats. Like just I realize right now we only have a 3/1, but if we can find like Brazen Borrower or Venser or just like I guess specifically flying threats would be great. And just like have an Air Force, like don't worry about their Mother of Runes, don't worry about their ground creatures, and just race them with our flyers while countering their relevant cards. That seems like a great place to be. I don't think I'm going to take the Thalia, probably. I'm primarily going to be focused on their removal spells here. Their removal spells and their like flyers, I guess. It's important to have a game plan a game plan to win, especially when you're behind. Like having a way you can win is important. Hopefully, okay, they don't go for the solitude. Wow, that's kind of exactly what we didn't want to see. I think we take incinerate here. Maybe we take nothing. Is there any chance that's correct? No, I don't want to leave them with two removal spells. Dahlia is like funnily terrible here. You know what? No, I'm gonna take nothing. I'm gonna take nothing. Mana Screw is a victory plan here. Subtlety, great draw. So again, we're hoping they just draw a couple bricks in a row. I guess if they just go for removal spells on our click, it's kind of annoying. We would love it if they played Solitude. It is awkward that we don't have triple blue, so we can't hardcast Counterspell and Daze. So not only do we draw back-to-back mountains to start, but they were mountains, not islands. But we're in this. We need them to miss this land drop, but the odds are in favor of them missing land drop. Swing for one, that's fine. No play, interesting. I'll just untap. Come on. Once again, by far the worst draw in the deck. Island would have been pretty good. Any of our white lands would have been pretty good. And then any spell would have been pretty good. And we're really hoping they play something we can daze here. They're probably just gonna Alistar Vendilion click though, and then we lose like all of our pressure. And eventually, like, they'll win the long game for sure. They have so much action in their hand. We don't have. Maybe if we just top deck like Expressive Iteration into Showdown of the Skulls, we could get there. But yeah, they just Alistar thing. That's bad. Do they even play Thalia? They do. I think that favors us. I'm not gonna counter that. We have plenty of mana. All right, huge draw here. Gotta hit something. Rampaging Raptor, maybe? Expressive Iteration, maybe? I take a Brazen Borrower just as a 3-1 flyer. Although, maybe that's not enough. You know, four of their cards. We don't know about a white card, but yeah, they still have two removal spells. That hurts. Okay. Just discarding the two mountains, then I'll play Odawara and pass. There's some argument to holding Odawara, but I don't think it's correct here. So we don't have enough mana to hardcast Daze, but we can just Daze bouncing an island. And like weirdly, that might even be better for us because we can loot away the island if we don't want it. They can kill our deck if they also attack with a Mother of Runes. But honestly, Dak's kind of done his job. Like, looting away the two land was the main thing we wanted that for. Okay, looks like we're gonna get to untap a Dak again. Don't hate that. Maybe we're in an okay position. Two one, you got it. The old Goblin Piker. We could subtlety that, of course, but that just absolutely not the correct line. All right, let's take our draw step. Okay, that is a white source, but we're gonna loot again. I guess yeah, getting a white source is not that exciting when we only have one white card in our deck. It's not in our hand. Caracas would be a pretty good find. We have six mana, so oh, interesting. Um, do we think Spell Pierce will be good? Honestly, yes. I think I'm just gonna discard both lands again. And then I'm gonna pass. I would love it if they went for a creature and we could subtlety instead of going for the click, but we can also just go for the click if they don't do anything. And I don't really want to um I don't really want to like actually make them draw a card off of click because once again, mana screw is a big part of our game plan here. I guess. Oh wait, maybe we're supposed to keep a land. We could keep Scalding Tarn and then play click plus subtlety. But I think tapping out of our counter magic is not really where we want to be. I want to be able to spell pierce their incinerate. The Activating was huge there though. Just looting away 4 lands could completely swing this game. I'm not gonna go for subtlety on defense. I think we're not worried about their creatures. We're trying to kill them. It'll be kind of hard to win the race, of course, when like we're not even that much ahead on life. But gotta have a plan, and that's our plan. Vendilion click. Hopefully they incinerate in response. Beautiful. We could daze or spell pierce. I think it's better to spell pierce here. Because daze can hit creatures. If they go for solitude, I would actually daze that. Um hmm. So we have subtlety for the solitude. Chain lightning is annoying though. I think I'm actually taking chain lightning here. I don't like taking a card and letting them have another look at a land, but chain lightning is a real problem. We need our flyers to survive. Oh baby, that is I don't want to say our best draw, but it's in the contention. So we put them to 11, pass. I'm surprised they haven't subtletied yet. I feel like they or solituded. I feel like they probably should have, but whatever. Did they really miss their land drop again? That would be great. So we have subtlety ready if they play a threat, otherwise we'll play brazen borrower. Either way we have days up. If we go for subtlety, we're gonna have to bounce a land with days, but that's like a total non-factor here. We're taking 5, but then we're gonna have we win the race. It's a close race, but we do win it. Okay, I'm just going to subtlety this. And now the days shields are down if they go for the solitude. They put it on the bottom, of course. They play tap land. Okay, so we know most of their hand. And they're debating going for the solitude. I hope they don't, which means they should, but they don't. We can't bounce anything into turn. Yeah, no. For multiple reasons, that's not a reasonable line. Oh, okay. So, what happens if we play that in attack? They're gonna solitude it. I think that's okay. And then we get to put them to 5, and then they can play Goldspan Dragon on defense, but we can bounce it, or even daze it. So, I think we just win here. At least against what we've seen so far. They might have something we don't know about. There's the solitude. No point in dazing this. And they did pitch the Skyclave apparition, yes. Alright, so we'll go up to 17, which could be relevant. This is looking like it's kind of a race. They go to 5, they have Goldspan Dragon and 1 unknown. We'll pass back. Wow, I can't believe we're ahead here. Once again, shout out to Dak Faden for looting away with 4 lands, and then shout out to Vendilion Click for just dealing almost all of our damage. Okay, I will just daze this, and that should be game. Wow, crazy. They're also down to 6.5 minutes. How is that the case? Alright, we're on the draw. Showdown of the Scald is a no, and we also can just cut these random lands now. Yeah, I think we don't want tap lands, we don't want pain lands. Let's just add 1 of each back. I'm still gonna play the Caracas and I'm still gonna play the Relgrun Triome. Maybe bring in Porcelain Legionnaire. It's funny to like cut white lands and bring in a white card, but Legionnaire is only kind of a white card. We could also play Imperial Recruiter, but I think that's worse. Yeah, I think this is how we want to run it. All right, baby, let's go. Trying to make the finals. Trying to get the fifth consecutive win with this deck. All right, good hand. I'm happy that this is a 2-drop. As always, we'd prefer to see no 1-drop from them, but we'll see what happens. No giver or no Mother of Runes at least, and no play at all. In fact, we can subtlety if we need to. I would prefer not to. Yeah, I'll let that resolve. Porcelain Legionnaire lines up well against that. They might have a removal spell, but it's okay. That's a bad draw. If I had that in my hand, I might have pitched it, but alright, we'll jam. It'd be great if they don't have an easy way to deal with this. That's a disaster. Yeah, that's truly a disaster. They get a 2-for-1. Yeah. We need to find a blue source to hold up Counterspell now. Oh man, is that bad. We need to play it to guarantee we hit a land drop next turn, but that's really not what we were hoping for. Okay, let's discard. Dak Faden. And I think Counterspell. That means we're tapping out of a subtlety this turn, but I think we're not trying to do subtlety this game. Or like not like that. Yeah, I'm gonna keep my ways to interact with the board because once again we're just gonna be behind on board, so we need to be able to interact with the board if we're gonna be behind on it. Those two cards are also pretty awkward against Thalia. So they're probably just gonna play the Bone Crusher Giant. That's bad. We need to find Mizium Mortars and overload it probably. Okay, I think I'm actually gonna go for Lelia and attack. If they trade, that's good. We get that's a good exchange for us. And if they take it, then Lelia will like grow and become like a very real threat that can race. We're pretty behind though. Odawara, nice to get a card we can play. Okay, do we want to mind collapse one of their creatures now? I think so. Yeah, I'm gonna mind collapse the Bone Crusher Giant actually. We take 2, don't love that, but it's not the end of the world. And now, if their plan is to make Saga tokens, Lelia is going to outpace that pretty well. It's going to be way bigger than all the other creatures on the board. Bone Crusher Giant was a 3-for-1 that also dealt us 4 damage. So, that's pretty good. Oh no. Okay, Hardcast Solitude. That's bad. Take 2. Daze is bad too, although we can loot it away. So our plan this turn is to try and ambush the Thalia. We can beat the board, but we can't beat them having a bunch more action. They accidentally click through making a Saga token. They get their Mox Jet. If they just play like a creature here, that'd be kind of nice, but they don't. Right, really hoping they don't have anything here. We're also tapped out of Days because Thalia makes our Days cost 1. 2 elemental incarnations on the battlefield here. Solitude and Subtlety. Right? Nice. Hopefully this just goes through. No weird burn spells here. If they have like a 2 damage burn spell, then they thought they could first strike our subtlety down. But that's not the case. So we take 3. I mean, it's 10 to 20 in life totals, so that's not good. Flicker of the Solitude, sure. They should have done that on their turn, probably. But now we get to kill their Solitude. Ah, drawing another land there hurts. Okay, we'll exile Robber of the Rich, which we can play this turn. We don't get a trigger off of it, but still, wait, we're like maybe ahead now? I mean, it depends on what they have in their hand. Our hand is actually trash, but we have Faithless Looting, which can give us more looks. Life totals they're ahead of life, but not by like a massive margin. That card is basically just a brick. Okay. Good thing for Faithless Looting, am I right? Okay. I don't think Days will ever be good at this stage in the game. Discard these two. I think I will just abrade their thing. So we can get in there. I'll play this just in case they have something weird. They play another land, so they're flooded. I mean, we're flooded too, but okay, they incinerate the Robber of the Rich. So both players top decking. Very even game. We get to top deck first, but we brick on our first top deck. Pass back. I feel like this probably does favor us, although it hurts that we cut our Showdown of the Scalds. Iteration would be great. Venser is really good, because we also have Caracas. Sure. So this is just gonna be a weird song and dance where like no player can really do anything. I think. Glimmer Lens, okay. Yeah, we're behind it. Them having like back to back pretty good cards there is not what we were hoping for, of course. Pick up our Venser. Let's top deck something here. That is something. Expressive Iteration. Ooh, that hurts. Man, that was rough. So we don't want them to trigger Glimmer Lens, so we're going to bounce there. Actually, I'm going to bounce their token here. I'm okay with taking 3 damage once. Okay, pick up our Venser. If they ever draw an instant speed removal spell that breaks up our loop, which would be bad. Okay, interesting draw. We have a lot of bounce here. We'll pass. We don't have a good way to actually kill them yet, but we can get there. I'm going to hold the Brazen Borrower. I'd rather just use the bounce that's not reusable. It's also too bad that their threat has flash. Okay, let's just pick this up. We don't have any value in attacking. Not what we wanted. Pass back. Yep. Weird little holding pattern here. It would be great to find Vendilion Click, or like, I mean, I guess just any threat. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 lands down. Plus 1 on the bottom, 14. So we have 3 lands in the next 12. Pretty likely to find some action. And we don't have any like pseudo lands. We don't have any Moxen or Mana Dorks that are bricks. Hmm. That's funny. I hope they go for this. They should not cast their spell because we can venture it back to our hand, I think. Like they don't realize. Oh, maybe they just did remember. So this, they think they're all smart here, but this doesn't actually work. They can flicker their resto or flicker their thing, but then we can brazen borrower in response. So now the Crocus trigger resolves, and then we venture the expressive iteration back to our hand. Yeah, that worked out quite well for us, and that's why we've been holding the brazen borrower, waiting for a moment where we could do something good with it. And yeah, I think this actually does go back to our hand. It doesn't get exiled, so that's great. They can replay their thing, which is probably the right move. Like they're not going to get any better value later. I guess they could maybe go for Mind Collapse. That's a good draw. Iteration. Okay, we'll go hand, bottom, exile. Cast the Raptor. Yeah, we're just winning here. Crazy game. Pass, leaving up our Venser. I'm going to take 3 if they attack here, that's fine. We've been able to use our lands pretty well, even though we were kind of flooded, but now that we're using like 5 men on Venser every turn, plus other stuff, it's good. Wow, wild, wild game. Our opponent's just going to time out, which they deserved. They played slowly, unnecessarily. I think they were double queuing. I'd never cheer for timeouts, but in this situation, it seems kind of reasonable. Okay, they're just exiling days. That's actually kind of funny. So that stopped us from going for Venser this turn. Glorybringer. Fair enough. That's actually kind of scary. Good play by them to go for that days thing. So we'll see how they attack. They go for killing the raptor. Okay, let's cast this. This goes through. Do we want a chump block? No. Actually, yes. I don't want to die to a burn spell off the top. Take 3. Then end of turn, we'll pick up our Venser. Sure, I'll ponder. Hoping to find a removal spell. Those are bad. That's also bad. Venser. No, there's no point in playing Squee. I don't think that helps us at all. Just pass leaving our mana up this turn. So the problem with bouncing the Restoration Angel is that they can flicker it, and that's kind of annoying. But I think it's still worth it if we can just like keep on bouncing stuff. So we'll go to blocks, bounce our thing, go to end step. If they're just gonna be F6, then I'll just click them. And they concede. All right, weird game. I think we were gonna win. It would have been kind of close. Maybe if we drew nothing else, Did we have any more action? I guess Rona could become a 5/5. Oh yeah, Shark Typhoon. Yeah, we were gonna win. We had lots of heat left in our deck still. All right, so we made it to the finals. That's pretty sweet. 5-0, and overall on the day 9-0. Yeah, playing against Noden Tree. I'll see you in the finals. All right, here we are for the finals. Currently 5-0, hoping to take down the whole trophy. And this hand is unexciting but keepable. Our opponent's matches were pretty quick, so there's a chance they're playing an aggressive deck. Playing a green deck, okay. We could mind collapse that if we were a savage, but that would not be correct. We'll get the Robber of the Rich down. Pretty nice to have this on the play. Nissa, whew. Scary card. We'll pass. Next turn we can squee. Bring some solid pressure. Kinnan. Okay, that does add... That makes the Birds of Paradise tap for 2. Interesting draw. So let's play this. Play squee. Oh, huh. Was not expecting that. Okay, do we want to Mind Collapse the Kinnan? That means we get to trigger Robber of the Rich again. It does put us down to land, but I actually think it's worth it. It takes them off of a mana, and it lets us trigger our Robber of the Rich, and it lets us and it stops them from being able to kill our Robber of the Rich. Time Warp. Okay, we're exiling a bunch of 5-drops. Ah, that's not what we wanted to see. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Seeker's Chariot just lines up well against what we're trying to do. Alright, so we're going the old squee pass. Doesn't feel great. We can beat the Chariot, but we can't beat Chariot plus a bunch of other stuff. That reprieve was bad. I was not expecting that. In the Questing Beast, yeah, we're pretty dead here. They can attack us for 8. All of a sudden, like, they totally are the attacker. And what are we even hoping to draw? Take a draw. But yeah, pretty steamrolled there in game 1. I think it is just over. I guess I'll attack with Robber of the Rich in case we had something crazy from them. I'll just attack with both. Trigger our things. So we could bounce Questing Beast. I guess we do that. Wait, then we're just dead on the backswing, right? Yeah, we're just dead no matter what. Bounce this, they replay it. 8. Well, we'll try. Oh, right. What's our plan now, though? They can't, even if they can't kill us immediately, they can put us to 4, and they're at 13. Yeah, we're dead. There's no possible draw here. Alright. So we lose to Bent in game 1. It's going to be important to take out their mana dorks for sure. Do we want to make any changes? No, at least not on the play. The Mind Collapse play was sketchy. It's possible that would have been incorrect. Mind Collapse is good against Questing Beast, of course. Okay, I'm going to keep this. I'm not going to hold up Spell Pierce on turn 1. It's possible we get burned for that. But we need to sequence this tap land at some point. I think we want to be using all our mana on all of our other turns. If they play a 1-drop, we'll probably Mizium Mortars it. Maybe not. It's 10. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to try to hold up. I'm going to try to overload Mizium Mortars this game. With Petty Theft up, I'm not too afraid of whatever they do. Okay. Lots of mana. They do miss their land drop, though. Alright, let's just untap again. Iteration, good draw. I would love to find a counter spell. Okay. Um. Hmm. Daze seems not that likely to be good, but I think I'm still gonna take it. It'll be good post sweeper at least. So, hand, bottom, exile. And then I don't love shocking, but I will do it here. They're not that aggressive of a deck, so our lifetime wasn't super important. And I do want to be able to hold up petty theft. We need to make sure we don't get blown out by a counterspell on our Mizzy Mortars on the key turn. Okay, that's totally fine. Petty theft to bounce. Getting close to Mizzy Mortars. I'm going to hold up mana this turn. I really hope they jam it again. Okay, that is... We can just daze this. Hilarious. Right? They already used their Wall of Roots, yeah. Actually, I think it's better to Spell Pierce it. Because we can daze a creature later. So that we're not going to get to kill their Overlord Oddity now, that's okay. So we'll cast this. And on tap and Overlord Mizzy Mortars, which will be clean 3 for 1, then they're going to be low on mana. Yeah, I think we're like... I definitely don't want to jinx myself, but we're massively ahead now. This is why we didn't just kill the Arbor Elf on turn 1. That play definitely worked out. We have Daze ready to counter their Overlord Oddity, which honestly, we could even just let it resolve, potentially, because we have Nahiri's Warcrafting. Oh, that we're definitely going to Daze. Wow, really worked out to Spell Pierce the Nissa instead of dazing it. Alright, I'm gonna play this now. It does mean they get a turn where we can't Venture, but I'm not too afraid of their Overlord Oddity. Interesting. Um let's play Rona this turn. Robber of the Rich is not gonna trigger. Yeah, so we'll go land, Rona. Attack for 3, pass. Now they can play 4/4 with Haste and Trample, which we can kill with Nahiri's Warcrafting. Questing Beast, okay, same deal. Although now they do have a second. Yeah, so I think we need to worry about that a little bit, or take out their other thing now. Oh wait, no, our creatures are just gonna become huge here. So let's play Colonnade, play click main phase. Oh, this is gonna untap our Rona. That's kind of sweet. I'm gonna grow. I guess I'll grow this. This untaps. That grows. This hits the battlefield. Let's target them. Okay, Thieving Skydiver doesn't do anything. We'll take the Overlord Oddity. And actually, I'm just gonna kill this now. No need to play with fire for unnecessarily. We have blockers for it, but still. We're gonna lose out on the Robber of the Rich, and that's okay. Okay, sweet. So we take down game 2. So their deck is like, they're heavy. This is the way that green deck should be built, in my opinion, in 2023. They're heavy on 4 and 5 drops. They're not trying to ramp to 7 mana. They're trying to play 4 drop, they hit hard. And like, Questing Beast, Overlord Oddity, Nissa, and Asika's Chariot are some of the best ones. They all come down pretty cheap and pressure the opponent immediately. I don't think we make any changes here. Yeah, we just need to hope to line up our counter magic with their threats. Like Daze and Spell Pierce are good against their 4 and 5 mana plays if we are able to like pressure them a bit. Okay, let's play Ponder. Looking for more interaction primarily. Those are not what we want at this stage in the game. Okay, Basic Island's not really what I wanted either. Interesting. I'm not going to daze that. There's an argument to dazing it. Whoa, okay. Well, might be kind of hard to get daze value this game. I think I will kill the... Oh, that's a good draw. Yeah, let's kill the Birds of Paradise. Takes them off of double green, which could be relevant. Yeah, actually, this seems good. They only have 3 mana now. Hopefully they miss their land drop. Are they just jamming at the even... Okay, Everflowing Chalice, sure. So which one of the things do we want to steal with Dak? I think I'm going to steal their green source. That seems great, actually. It's also their white source. They currently don't have enough mana to untap Grim Monolith, although if they top deck a land, they can. If they miss on the land drop, it feels like it's almost over. Maybe that's a little presumptuous, but let's loot. I like my hand, but we definitely want to loot because we want to be able to take out their mana. Okay, good hits. Jeez, this is great. So let's discard Robber of the Rich, and honestly, Showdown with the Skull. Yeah, Showdown with the Skull. No, probably Shark Typhoon. We'll keep all the interactive cards. Then we're gonna go. Oh, they are representing Miscalc. So let's play the one that we. Honestly, I'm gonna let them Miscalc this Lelia if they have it. Could even Daze actually. Let's cast this. No, I'm just gonna let them counter it. No, actually, I think I would have Dazed, but they don't go for that. So we'll attack. We hit Mind Collapse. That's not really great. We'll play land, pass, and then in their upkeep, we're gonna go for a Braid on the Everflowing Chalice. With Miscalc or with Daze up still. Oh my goodness. They can see the game. Wow. That feels pretty good. 50 treasure chests, 500 play points, 24 qualifier points. Nice. I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to say. That was exactly what we were hoping would happen. Or that league feels childish by comparison. But yeah, sweet. We got the trophy. We went 6-0. That was my last 64-player draft. Great to go out on a high note. Both decks were sweet. Some really close games. Honestly, for much of the last 2 rounds in particular, I felt like we were behind. So just throughout the whole thing, that was awesome. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.